Stand by for the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Take two. Forbidden History Live. What they didn't want you to know, obviously, that we tell right here. Please note that the following views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society. Nothing here is ever to be construed as hate, medical, or legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on therealpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week on therealpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network on YouTube.com as Forbidden History Live, and twice a week on NinjaCat 111 as the Forbidden History Chronicles. The old archives are found at the Forbidden History series. Do check them out, won't you? Time to call your friends. You did tell your friends? Thank you for doing that. Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio and Free America Radio Network in the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's Forbidden History Live with your host, Dezert-Owl. What they didn't want you to know, that we tell right here. Now's the time to call your friends. Stand by for the broadcast. Welcome to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Forbidden History Live. What they didn't want you to know, that we tell right here. And you know why you're here, of course, right? Because here is where we bring you the most important information on the face of the entire earth or under the earth. Here is where each week we bring you the very best in radio broadcast listening while we reveal the greatest secrets and the deeper mysteries of life. Yet the one question that will always remain will be this: can you handle the truth as it will be presented here, this evening, tomorrow at dawn, at noon, in the future, wherever you are around the world? I don't know if you can handle the truth. You might not even want the truth, but the truth, ladies and gentlemen, is stranger than fiction. And the truth will make you a fugitive within your own land. So stand by for the broadcast. It's Forbidden History Live, coming up next.
Story
welcome everyone to the broadcast this evening, and welcome to any of our new listeners out there. I see some new names, see some old ones, and new friends. Boom Boom, welcome, Just Love, and all of you. Okay, all of you. I saw some people flying through there real quick. You know what? I don't get it. They shrank my chat window by the equivalent of one of the like they bumped up another program offer. I get to see, watch live, the National July, for the National July 23rd, I have an offer to listen to something live. I'm going to block that out. I can't even do that, can I? Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. I can't, not interested. Okay, thank you very much. I can't get over it, but they literally shrank my chat, so I can't watch the, it's been cut in half. I mean, it's a little discouraging. It was hard enough to answer people's questions, and now they just shrank my window by the equivalent of one offer of another YouTube to click on. Like I really wanted to see that, and so you have to realize that you need to put my name in all capital letters, Dezert, then your comment or question upper lowercase, and if I don't see it, if it goes past the top, I didn't have enough time to look. Okay, so just put it back down at the bottom again, copy and paste it, and that's how we're going to have to deal with it. There's this pop-up chat that I can watch, but every time I touch my screen, it goes away, and I have to pop it up again, and I have to stretch it one more time, and that's not going to work. They literally, I don't know how people are going to use their chat when people are going through at light speed, Hey, Margarita G, good to have you. And I don't know the name of that background music. It's sort of like a radio opening theme that I've had for several years, and I pretty well lost the MP3, but we just captured it off another one of my recordings to save it. We almost lost that one permanently, and it was such a one of my favorites. So I can appreciate that you like it as well. Welcome to Forbidden History Live, and yeah, it's quite a world. They've got children working over there at the shop. You know what I mean? I don't want to. and they're like kids, and they can't leave stuff alone. They got to keep playing with stuff, just like the thumbs up. Remember the thumbs up used to be dark black when you clicked on it, so you could see it wasn't gray. It was dark black, and you knew the thumb went up. But now they had to put that pastel blue there. What an eyesore. Like, okay, I couldn't tell when it was black that the thumb was up. So yeah, they're ruining it. They're just really ruining everything, and certainly, it's no longer you in Tube anymore. You know that, right? Yeah, it's them, and we're out of here as soon as we get, really popular. That's when we know we're out of here, because that's how they do it. Whenever you are telling the truth, they don't like the truth. They just want the fiction, and they're pretty good at it. And it's really sad. It's really sad that I've seen some of the best channels out there. Just in one day, they wake up in the morning, it's all gone. 50,000 hours of broadcasting, all gone. Important information. People put their entire life into it, and these people, with the click of a button, destroy it all. Don't even call them on the phone and say, "Hey, wait a minute. You got to fix this. You got to fix that. And then you're good." No, there's the most indecent, policies. They talk about, the rule, following, what do they call them, the rules or whatever, community guidelines. Yeah. But then they'll take the sword out and they'll slay you in a moment. The most careless and indecent action I've ever seen for something that was supposed to be community. Talk about community, right? What about free speech? That doesn't exist either, of course. So I'm little, as you can tell, disappointed in losing half of my chat. And maybe I think if enough of the people out there, when they see this happen to them, they're going to really, say something. So I think they'll pull it back. Some kid, obviously, they let him control the switch, and they ought to fire him. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, enough of that. It's already difficult enough, to produce and to bring forth the most important information on the planet. But that's what we intend to do here, and so we're gonna attempt part 3 chapter 3 in Ganesha, correctly called Genesis. And but before I do that, I always try to write down questions and comments on when I do reviews of the programming when I have time. And so I noticed that let's see, Just Love is there, and so Just Love had a question on the last program, and I missed it. So she says, why did they create a double V? Oh, being the W. Okay. So Just Love, the point is that our diction was manipulated outside the Vatican at a place called the College of Abbreviators, and so they wanted to, Babylon means confusion, and so they didn't want us to have the original, root forms, what are called the parent root forms within our diction, because then we can easily be set free. Because the capital letter, misnomered as Phoenician alphabet, is actually the original Sanskrit. Not Sanskrit, but Sanskrit, what you can write in a sand, which is straight lines. And so that's why today this thing in India is called Sanskrit. They changed the names of things and places. That's how the game is played. And so what's in India known as Sanskrit is pseudo-Sanskrit, because the original Sanskrit is in the all capital letters, okay? The, A, B, C, D, E, and G. But, those letters are not all correct. There's no B, there's no C, there's no, the other ones do have a place in the scripture. Well, the G is a latecomer as well. No, this is part of the enigma that I'm still working on, to get with the very prime root. And this is one of the challenges that we face. But here's some false letters. Okay, let's just put the false ones out there. Okay, let's see. B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Well, there should be a PH, so P is really not right either. I'm going to P, Q is a code. R, S, T, U is a code. V, W, X, Y, Z. So let's enter these letters. So these are all false letters. They do not belong in the original alphabet. And so that's how they mix things up. And they would never, the code would be considered their mother. You know how we talk about the metaphor of the mother. And so Sanskrit, this is the Sanskrit right here. A, V, G, D, E, and then it would be PH, not an F, H, L, M, N. You see, on and on. You see, there's your Sanskrit. You can write those letters in the sand. You can't write what you look at, what we call Sanskrit in India today. You can't write that in the sand. It's like Arabic, right? It's like, the squiggles, these little lines, you could not write that in the sand. Only these straight lines have definition. They have definition that is clearly distinguishable, and you could write it in the sand. Okay? So that's the original alphabet. That was what was given, that was breathed into Adam. Shelley, if you can pull up the Sanskrit that comes out of Sumer, remember the stone relief that fills the screen up with those original alphabets. And so this is the alphabet that goes back to the beginning, and it's in and it's clearly seen in the primitive. There you go. So now we're going back 5,000 years. But what they did is they flipped the letters over. You see, because they don't want to reveal the code. The code is their mother, and so what if they make their code available, or to the public, then they flip it over and they reverse it. That's why if you look in the sample dictionary that's in the sample original gospel, behind the original gospel sample is like 100 pages of the dictionary. That's the most recent draft I did, and then there I put the word David, based on the original Aramaic, and then I show how they flipped it over and how they reversed imaged it. And when you reversed image it and flip it over again, then you can see it's clearly for Adam, the prime root for Adam is ADM, okay, ADM. And that's the prime root. We work off of consonants. That first letter A is a consonant, not a vowel. There were two A's. That's why in Aaron you see two A's, Aaron. Okay, so and if you all want to complain about the chat being shrunk down, I appreciate it, because I don't, I can't stand looking at this thing now that they sabotaged their own. Who would sabotage their own production? Other than children. So okay, so that's I appreciate the question, because the V. See, in other words, the code. I'll elaborate a little more on the code, just because this is really a good one. This the V becomes the W, right? So what they did is they flipped over the M and they create the W, but the W is actually taking the place of the V. You see, so it's the original. So let's ask the question: is it a W? Is that a W, or is it a W, or is it a double V? Is it not a double V? So you see, they get us to lie every time we name it. Just like when you go to your computer and you're going to type something, you're typing. You got to use your cursor. So they get you cursing when you get on your computer, and then they get you lying when you call it a W, because it's really a double V. You see, Linda, good to have you. Welcome to the broadcast. Very nice comments you made on our Saturday broadcast. I thank you so much. And it's nice to have new people coming in, stopping by, checking us out. And so, okay, so what they did, is they make their code available so that the Yiddish people who speak Yiddish in particular in Germany, because it was in Germany that this originated, because the Khazars took over, came from Eastern Europe, took over most of Western Europe with banking. We're talking about, of course, who I'm talking about. They run the media, they run everything, basically, money, right? So they when they made the car, they called it and it's called the beetle, right? So it's the sacred scarab, the Egyptian scarab, the beetle, and they called it a VW, right? A VW. And so what they're saying is, don't forget, V is W, V is W, W is V, W is V. There's the code right there in the circle. And they put it in a circle. If you remember the logo, the VW, the V's at the top and the W's below it. So what is at top is dominant, and the circle represents the light of the sun. So it implies the double, the virgin light came down from the sun, but then they created a duality. And then they created the duality of the virgin light and turned it into darkness. That's what they did. That's called the black sun. And so now we get double vision, and we call it a W, but it's really a double V. See how the Babylonian game is played, ladies and gentlemen? And they do it with symbols, because remember, signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor law, because there is no law. They took away the common law, the law of nations, the natural law, and they're feeding us their papal bull. So let me, don't forget, if you have a comment or question for me, because I can't read everybody's statement there, put desert in all capital letters, and then your comment or question in upper and lower case, okay? And I'll notice desert real easy, and then I'll be glad to stop the chat and look at that, all right? And before I go on further, because Crystal made a statement in the other program that she commented on the Nag Hammadi library, and I think she had asked a question about it. I think I addressed that question, but then she mentioned that she loves Thunder, Perfect Mind out of the Nag Hammadi, and I did address what they did to the Nag Hammadi. They put it on their sacred altar and altered it, and didn't give us a legitimate transliteration. They demonized the author of the writers of the Nag Hammadi. But Thunder, Perfect Mind, Crystal, just happens to be my favorite reading in there as well. It's a poetic reading, and I'm going to do that before we get into the Farrar Fenton scriptures and chapter 3 of Ganesha, the correct title for Genesis. Okay, but before I do that, I wanted to, and thank you again for that comment and question, Just Love, because we're wanting to answer questions of the friends here. It's like, okay, I'm on overload. I think I've answered most of my questions, and I'm just overflowing with the desire to help others to make lemonade out of the lemons that we've been handed. Because there's not enough time left. We probably have 2 years left, right? 2 years, and then it's going to be global starvation. They've killed our planet. The UVC and UVG is burning everything up, and when they get done with the 5G, that's going to burn everything else up. I just saw a video today where the 5G killed half of a tree. The side of the tree that was facing the tower, that's the one that got burned. The side facing, including the bark on the tree. Unreal. So to be prepared, ladies and gentlemen, for what's coming in the future. I just wanted to share a wonderful product with you that I've been using for years. I get nothing for sharing this with you. I'm just passing on the information because we're in tough times and we're here to serve. And therefore, and what we deal with here is information. Okay, so you may have never heard of mild silver protein, but mild silver protein is the most advanced silver that you can get, 500 parts per million. Okay, 500 parts per million, and it's on the nano level. Okay, it is absolutely, and you can put it in your eyes. It's safe to use. If you get something in your eyes, I had a friend take it one day, came to work, he couldn't talk, it was like that. And then I said, hey, what you need is some silver protein. I gave it to him. He did one gargle. His voice came back. He had no more sore throat. One gargle within 15 seconds. I'm telling you that this silver is 500 parts per million, and it's brought to us by MSP Research and Bill McFarland. I've known Bill for years. And he's got the best product. So I want you to tell him Desert sent you. Okay, give him a call at your convenience. 334-493-0420. 334-493-0420. Okay, one more time. 334-493-0420. And after all, if you're going to use silver, you want to use the best, right? So there you go. So call Bill McFarland and get the best silver, ladies and gentlemen. That's thank you for just stopping by and checking us out. I've dedicated my life to knowing about the best. I freed myself from doctors in my early 20s because they were killing me with my upper respiratory infections. They overdosed me on antibiotics, and I didn't know about silver. We didn't even have silver back then, but I overdosed on antibiotics, ended up at a specialist, and then I ended up having to take nystatin and cortisone treatment. I mean, I was a mental wreck. And then I realized that these people, were going to kill me if these doctors, and so that's when I studied regeneration, exercise, all of this stuff, and then I ended up one day having 2 different health radio programs, the Inside View on Health and then the Ultimate Health Breakthrough. Those were my 2 programs that I produced way back when. And so yeah, we need to be informed, and we need the best when it comes down to we're not going to have doctors anymore when they pull the plug. That everybody's going to be on their own. So get it on your shelf while you can, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And so, and thank you for that. So, and before I do I'm going to go ahead and do the read, then I can do words, okay? Because we're, the evening is kind of like, I really have the best energy in early at dawn, and I, was going to save for our FENTON for Saturday, but I know that you're coming back on and you want to hear probably chapter 3 of Ganesha and Genesis, and so I'm trying to work up a rhythm. We just really got to have perfected our broadcast. You notice the great graphics that Shelly G's bringing on, and we've got some wonderful music for our breaks. We're just really trying to produce a stellar radio broadcast. It's still a radio broadcast. It's just that we're not on FM or AM or X radio. We're on YouTube. That's the only difference. But it's a radio broadcast. It's still the realpublicradio.net. We don't have any money. They get all the money. They have all the money, but we still get it done on a song, a wing, and a prayer. And you are our prayer, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm inspired by having decent people here, some wonderful people, on the broadcast here. We've all come to know each other over the past year. Half of us that are on here tonight, and the other half are coming in, and we're getting a growing audience. We had a record on Sunday. Normally we have about, within 24 hours, 50 or 60 people that will listen to the broadcast throughout the day by the end of 24 hours, and we had over 100 over 100 now in 24 hours. And so we're just about to, I think, blow out the gate, because people love truth. I know that most people love truth. Most people right now today, bigger than anybody, know that we've been lied to, and we're really they know we're in trouble. They know our world's going down. There ain't no hiding it. And so so what are we going to do, ladies and gentlemen? We have to pull together the true nature of things, the new nature of things on earth, the nature of who we are, where we are, when we are, and why we are, the true nature of our spirituality. Did the one that made all things, the one who made the universe, did he communicate to us? Did he write to us through star navigators, the correct terminology for prophet? Did he communicate? Is he trying to send us a signal, a smoke signal? Well, I think he is. In fact, I don't think, I know. I know he is, because he's been talking to me all my life, and I've been reading his writings. I've been reading the work of his star navigators. And notice how they changed the word star navigator into prophet. And, the prophet, there's no prophet to be made, okay? No profit to be made. Lynn, you don't have to. You may want to save me for that. I don't know. Lynn's on top of all this stuff, and she's just I know she's going to shock any new people that come in here, and I think it needs a little explanation before you say it like that, Lynn. She just says it plain, just like, okay. So that's all right. Well, anybody needs the clarification on that, just ask for it, okay? Desert, what does Lynn mean? About pig snout, and I'll be able to explain it, because it goes back to the Indo-Germanic. We've been lied to. Okay, we've simply been lied to. I've gone over this stuff over and over, but when new people come in, it's got to be a little bit of a shocker. But it's true. Okay, it is true. All the titles, all the names, all the things they've handed us. There was no Nazareth. Okay, there was never a town called Nazareth. It's not a town. It was Constantine's mother put that one on the map. Okay, she put it on the map, but. It was about a community called the Nazaré. The Nazaré, it was a community, not a town. And they lived in a town, you see, just like the Bohemians. The Bohemians, or Germans, have communities in Texas, or maybe in Pennsylvania, or wherever. They all like to get together. You see, they're Aryans, and they call themselves Bohemians. But there's tricks that have been played on us. We've been lied to wholesale, ladies and gentlemen. And if you stay with us, you'll hear it, okay? You'll hear it here. And Nazaré was what was breathed into them. It is the Nile. The Nile is the Nile that came down. The Tsar, the star, the ray of a star that came down is what Nazaré means. The ray of a star that came down. You have to read it backwards. Nazaré, ray, Tsar, star, Nile that came down. Nazaré, read it backwards. The ray of a star that came down. What's the ray of the star? A seed of light. A follower of Yeshua, a follower of Yahweh. That's the ray of light. We are rays of light. We are extensions of light, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And, okay, and let's see, Linda's saying, are you serious? I mean, I believe you're saying it with such conviction. How could I not? I know I came to the right channel. I'm getting more in this few minutes than I've gotten all week. Okay. Well, just hang on. We're just getting started with the program, Linda. Okay. And it's all these years I felt like I'm the guy with bad news, because all they do is tell people our world is going down. The government wants to kill you. And you've been lied to about everything, in the scriptures. And, in other words, there's truth in there. Yeah, there's truth, and there's part, but there's part lies, and that's because the priesthood have played the trick on us, and yet our scriptures plainly tell us in 1 John 2:27 that the truth is not a part of any lie. The truth is not a part of any lie. So you can't have a little truth and a little bit of lie, you see? And so Margarita is saying, just love defaming the Christ with a pagan name, replacing his Hebrew name with a pagan Greek name that honors a pagan god. But you see, I always thought it was Greek. But what I found out, in other words, I always thought Jesus was, the healing Zeus. And okay, they changed it into a Greek mythological figure. That's okay. Jesus still introduced me to Joshua. Joshua introduced me to Yeshua. And then in the most primitive, Yeshua introduced me to Yashulimva. And that means the knowledge of the serpent that goes round. That means the knowledge of everything. Everything is serpent. You're the serpent. The atom is the serpent. The sun is the Ouroboros eating its tail. It's the serpent continually going around and around and around, you see? So the galaxy is a serpent. It's spinning. Everything spins. So but then because I studied the Indo-Germanic and I got past the Hebrew and Greek, I know that Jesus is Sus, S-U-S is Indo-Germanic out. Okay, so the good news, we have good news. Okay, with all the bad news, the good news is that Yahshua, not Yeshua. Yeshua means may his name be blotted out forever. That comes from the Babylonian Talmud. That's what the Messianic movement follow, and it's very messy. You see, because they're being controlled by priesthoods and Talmudic priesthoods that are following the priesthood, okay, that of Talmudism. And so it's Yahshua. Yeshua, as it was discovered by George Howard. I give credit to George Howard, who gave us the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew that he found in all the libraries of the Jews. And he gave us a translation based on, what's been hiding away in the libraries of the Jews, the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew. Matthew was originally done in Hebrew, and then afterwards translated into Aramaic, and then afterwards translated into Greek. So yeah, it's a great collective, a conspiracy to rob us of our transcendent truth, ladies and gentlemen. We're to honor our Redeemer. And to honor him is to say his name correctly. Remember in Revelations, what did he say? I will give you a name that nobody can name, you see? Or that nobody is naming, because we're being controlled at the top. So be set free. We have to see and read things for ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Jah is Yah. There is no J. The J just came 200 years ago. J is a latecomer, okay? It was used beginning about 400 years ago, but it was not officially recognized as a letter J until 200 years ago. And it was originally in the Old English 2 I's, and then 1 I became a J, and you see it on our modern alphabet today. So we got a lot to cover, and we do take callers as well. Anytime somebody wants to call in, but right now I want to do a read of Thunder Perfect Mind, but I've got to shut this fan off. It's a little cooler here today in Ohio. I guess they're doing another nuclear cool down. So hang on a minute. Be right back. All right, that's bad for radio, but we are the real public radio, and that's why we can get away with it. Nobody pays us to do this. We do it out of love and I want to say conviction, but I know the con is the wrong one. Oh, that's right. That's the viction. I forgot the Yeshavors. The conviction is viction. Let me give an example, because you're all trying to figure out what's this original thought all about. So let me give you an example right now with that word. Okay, so con, C-O-N-V-I. Well, it started with the word faith. I got to go here with faith. Okay, so F-A-I-T-H becomes conviction, C-O-N-V-I-C-T-I-O-N, which then becomes viction, V-I-C-T-I-O-N, which then becomes in the Indo-Germanic the V-I-C-T-O-R-Y of L-Y-G-H-T. There we go. Okay, so you see, we talk about having faith, but the faith is the fae. The fae is the woman that was the virgin light that became the whore, and the occult are hiding her from us. We see it spelled F-E in Spanish and F-A-Y in English, but correctly it is the P-H-A-Y. Okay, the P-H. What just happened? Something blew up on my my deal here. Okay, let me try that again. P-H-A-Y. Okay. Now, how do I get rid of all these happy faces? Something happened. How do I close that out? Okay, I'm going to click on that. There we go. Okay. Bad enough the chat shrank. Now, that thing popped up. So you see that's we're dealing with word forms, ladies and gentlemen, word forms. Okay, so don't type anything until I can stop it if it bumps up, but that's okay. But I'm talking about, faith, the fae, you see, the faith is the fae. So when you say, I have faith, you're using an occultic term. You're saying, I have the fae. I have the fae woman in me. But the problem is that they took the virgin light and turned her into a whore. And went from being representative of the sun to representing the moon. And So that's what the occult are worshiping as their secret woman, the Fae. But the truth is, Mary, the mother of Yeshua, represented the virgin light. You see, so she takes on the persona of the Fae, the virgin light. So if we see Phay, Ph Phay becomes the creation of the eye of light. Okay, so that represents the sun. Now I'm having to bump it down again. So don't lose where I got faith, because I'm talking about that still. So faith, in the idea of what we mean when we say I have faith, what you are literally implying is that you have conviction. You see, and I'm showing you how they've corrupted our words, but yet conviction is still a con. Just like, okay, an example, we talk about a congregation, right? But when I looked up in Webster's 1828 dictionary, it's not called a congregation. It's called a gregation. Okay, aggregation. That's a gathering of people that come together for spiritual edification. And so what did they do? They put the word con in front of it. You see, to tell you that they're conning you. Don't we know Benny Hinn is a con? Don't we know all these Illuminati, Masonic, Jesuit preachers are putting the con on us, right? They're walking back and forth, waving their hands on the stage, putting you under the spell, and then saying, can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Amen. Yeah, what did he say? I don't know, but it sounded pretty good. Yeah, let's just say amen. Okay. And put everybody under the spell of mind control. Okay? So it's viction. And what is viction? It's an abbreviated term. I tell you, they abbreviate the words outside the Vatican at the place called the College of Abbreviators, run by the Jesuit Curii. And so viction is the victory of light. You can see the word vic, abbreviated for victory, and shun. Whoa, that T is in there, another code. A T covering the SH sound. When did a T take on the SH sound? It's a sword. It's a crucifixion. It's a it's the knife. They put the knife to the word, and it's SHON, shun, and it means for the shining of the light. So viction is correctly the victory of light. You see, that's my faith. That's my conviction. It's the victory of light. It's the absolute of knowing that you know. Absolutely. You see? And so this is how they play the game, ladies and gentlemen. And that's an example of original thought. Okay, so if you just hang in there, you're going to get more original thought than you ever thought you'd think. Okay, because it's the grand conspiracy. What is more important, right, than communication? Communication is the most important science on the planet, and without communication, nothing moves. Okay. Well, right, because the word Gnostic is. I'm responding to Margarita's comment there, just looking at the very first part of it. The Gnostic means knowledge, and the G is a silent symbol, you see. And so, what does the G represent? It represents the gold, and the gold of the sun. And so, the word Gnostic has been demonized, although the word Gnostic is not evil by itself. What is agnostic? Well, agnostic, like which typifies Catholicism, means you're against knowledge. Oh, we're not supposed to know that stuff. That's just for the priesthood. Okay, now we're supposed to just get on our knees and kiss their big toe, the Pope's big toe, and whatever they say, that's what it is. We're not supposed to question anything. So we're agnostic. We're against knowledge. That's what the Vatican is all against, right? They killed people for reading scripture. They burned them at the stake, right? How many? About 5 million over the last 2,000 years, give or take, right? So Gnostic, that's what they labeled, the people who wrote the Nag Hammadi, as Gnostics. But yet in their writings, they never, all 66 books, they never once ever called themselves Gnostics. They were what we would consider to be Christians in that sense, because Gnostic is Greek. So it comes from a Greek idea, and it's not the original Aramaic. So, but to see what Margarita is saying, Gnostic teaching is a level 2 for Christianity. We could say that. It just means knowledge, and knowledge is what sets us free. The tree of knowledge, we have to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge before we can eat the fruit of the tree of life. Then she continues, that's when they turn God around and name him the bad guy, so you can learn to be good Masonics, right? Amoric, Otto, OTO, and RHP, LHP literature is after the levels ABOV. Okay, so I'm not familiar with any of that, Margarita, but thank you for your insights there and sharing. Okay, so now I'm going to get into um, Thunder Perfect Mind because Crystal said she, enjoyed that. You still with us, Crystal? Okay, I assume you are, and otherwise you'll just have to listen to the replay. But I thought this would be a great read to share because this is the Nag Hammadi got a bad rap, and so what we're going to do is just share a little bit. And I'm on screen. Who's on screen? Boom. Okay. Boom is on screen. Isn't that pretty great? Okay, so let me give him a little more light here. Let there be light, and I need to take a sip of my drink before I start this read. I've read this many times, on my other broadcasts to share with people because I wanted them to see the deepness. I think you meant to put his D there, Margarita, but desert, original thought from Thoth. Well, thought, yeah, that's right. Thoth from the Meitzarim tradition, falsely called Egyptian. Thoth is thought. He was the god of words and communication, so he represents thought. That's correct. Yeah, hang on. So, Thunder Perfect Mind. And this is one of the books. There's about near 70 books in the Nag Hammadi. Nag Hammadi is the place. It names a place. It's the Nag is original root form for serpent, and you'll see there's a bend in the river of the Nile River, and that's the Nag Hammadi. It means the serpent bend, and that's why it's called Nag Hammadi, because it's not the name of the writings. It's the name of the place where they found it. I got to do one thing. Hang on. Okay, thank you for that. And so, we're going to make lemonade out of lemons, ladies and gentlemen. And good color on that Shelley as well. She's doing a great job with the graphics. If I were doing it, it'd be too, like you'd want to take my crayons away. So, but she's got real talent there. Okay, so Thunder Perfect Mind. And so this is the type of poetry that should be within our scriptures, and it is our scriptures, you see. And what it talks about is the duality. There's the great mystery that's going on. In other words, how come we got Baskin Robbins religion? You got 500, 600 flavors out there. Well, what flavor do you want? Name your flavor. Oh, you want pink pistachio, or you want Rocky Road, or do you want Tutti Frutti? You can have whatever type of religion you want. You can have it your way. Wow, what a deal! When our scripture says, okay, there's only one Lord. Lord is a corruption, but that's okay. We'll use it right now. One Lord, faith. One Lord, one faith, one baptism. That's Baphomet. Okay, there's the word Baphomet. You put two and two together. Okay, this is what we're actually talking about right now: the duality and the deception. Because what is being implied in the Nag Hammadi book, the Thunder Perfect Mind book, is that things are not what they seem, ladies and gentlemen. They are not what they seem. Okay, and how come we see the Vatican, right? I mean, what part of burning 5 million people at the stake, or 100 or 10 million, whatever, at the stake for the last better part of 2,000 years? They burned more women, by the way, than they did men, because women had a pretty good intuition, I think, and therefore they or they were following the other cultural nature traditions, things of that nature. To use a double play, and so therefore they were more connected with Mother Nature, and therefore they were more easily demonized, because of their connection. And as they do represent nature, right? Women represent nature, men represent the spirit, and so how what part of burning people at the stake don't we get? And so we have a false traditions. Well, my point I'm trying to make here is the false traditions are the ones that are holding the baby. The baby is the truth, but they kidnap the baby. This is the story with Solomon. Remember, there were two women with Solomon. One baby was dead, the other one was alive, and they did a switch out, right? And so the true mother said, "Oh, give my baby to the false woman to preserve its life," because Solomon was going to cut the baby in half. She said, "No, just give it to my true baby to the false mother." And so the false mother is preserving the baby, ladies and gentlemen. That's the story. And so we get a type of the truth from this tradition, the false traditions, but then we have to see and read it for ourselves. We have to get the picture of what is actually going on, and that the darkness is ruling this world, because we all have free will. It's all about free will, and therefore the darkness, the fallen ones. We did the special on the Watchers. You can go see it. It's one of the last. Go about 8 programs back, and you'll see where we did the series on the Watchers. They decided they wanted to conquer the world, to enslave mankind, and to have a party on us. And that's what they did. And they became the priesthood. They are known in India as the Brahmin. That's the abbreviation of the word sovereign. They claim to be the sovereigns of the world. Abraham is actually correctly Zavramhaim. That means the sovereign, okay, of the many, sovereign of the many, the breath of the many as well. All of those things are there. So we're dealing with the duality. That's why there's 2 gardens. This is what we just are talking about in the story of Adam, and then also in our reading with this part 3 now of Fenton and Ganesha, that we're talking that there's the Garden of the Atoms, which is falsely called Eden, and then there's the lower garden, which is down here. There's one up above, there's one down here, but this garden is a false garden. It's an illusion. And so they what kind of garden is it? Well, the word gar means war, and din means sound. So the word garden in modern English, not in the Indo-Germanic, in the modern English means the sounds of war. Garden, sounds of war. And then when we talk about the word flower, what's in a garden? Flowers? Well, you hear the word flow of war. Flower, flow, war. So their idea of the garden is the big gun, the cannon, the sounds of war, and the flow of war, and there's perpetual war. War never ends. It's they don't go to the front line. They send you to the front line. Guard in. Yeah, they're the guard. The guard is the gold on the back of the dollar bill. It says "In God We Trust," but add the royal symbols. Okay, add the obelisk, and you get "In Gold We Trust." There's the golden light. In gold we trust. And if you change the word, the magic letter L, a secret vowel, to the secret vowel R, you get the guard. The gold is, the God is guard. It's the U is a corruption, but it's the same word, gold, G-O-L-D. You see the prime root, first letter, last letter, G-D, and there's the guard, and there's the gold, okay? So, thank you, Just Love, for your hearts and your kind thoughts. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, Thunder Perfect Mind, and hear the duality that is being expressed here. So this is 2,000 years old, just shy, and they're expressing it here. This is why these works had to be demonized, because they don't want us to read this stuff. That's why Dan Brown, who gave us the Da Vinci Code, well, he's telling a little bit of truth, telling a little bit of lie, telling a little bit, and they get you to think that the Vatican's the victim. Well, the Vatican, got taken over by the Illuminati. Oh no, Illuminati took over. The Vatican is the beast. Once a beast, always a beast. And it's amazing how they get people so in their shallow mind control state that they don't ever get it. It always was a beast, and therefore the only thing left is to be set free. And they want the people to think that the Vatican is a victim of the Illuminati and Galileo and the others, because they were beaten up for wanting to say that the sun was at the center of the solar system. Therefore coming back from the dead and trying to infiltrate the Vatican. Well, the Vatican infiltrate what? Infiltrate Babylon? Once Babylon, always Babylon. Once murdering people, as a la the Roman Empire, always a murderer. You can't get a virgin out of a whore. Well, you can if Yeshua does it. Yeah, if Yeshua, like he did with Mary Magdalene. Not Mary Magdalene, Maryam of Magdala. She was from Magdala, and that means Magdala means the center of idolatry. Okay, and so she's Maryam, and she is from Magdala. And notice that you're only hearing it here, ladies and gentlemen. I told it to you straight. Now, but how do they get us thinking first name, last name, right? Like Jesus Christ. No, it's not Jesus Christ. It's Jesus the Christ, right? Even though it's corrupted. We know it's corrupted. So we go back to Yeshua, the Moeshiach. Yeshua, the Moeshiach. Moeshiach is the prime root, correct form of what we think of when we say Messiah, and they're on and on and on. Okay, so here we go. Thunder, perfect mind. And then, Shelley, we're going to go to our break, okay? And I'm glad you're all tuned in. Glad you're hanging out with us, ladies and gentlemen. After all, we're trying to help people, to see and read it for themselves. I'm just the primer here, but once you get it, then it's all going to open up to you because it's the code. It's the original code. The Indo-Germanic is the original code, and but yet then there's the priesthood's code. That's what Lucifer means. Lucifer means the true cipher. That you hear it, right? Cipher, Lucifer, cipher. That's why they call the Hebrew Bible the cipher, the Sefer. That's cipher. It's a code. They're telling you, but you don't get it. Just like when they call Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John Gospels when it was originally Evangelion, right? Which meant star message of enlightenment. And then they put in the words gospel, and they're telling you, go spell. You can't spell. Ha 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 ha. Having a party on all of us, ladies and gentlemen. And so it's time to begin to learn how to spell and to be set free from their occultic spell, because there is no real occultic power other than the deception and the grand illusion that they put over our minds. That's it. It's an illusion. It's a trick. Okay, so we can be set free. So here we go. Thunder Perfect Mind. And by the way, this is in the Nag Hammadi. If you got a copy, then just follow along, right? And that's right. The battleground is in the mind, Linda. Thank you very much. It's in the mind, and of course, there's a battleground on the land as well. But we won't go fight their wars if we know the truth, right? We can be set free from them. Okay, I was sent from the power, and have come to those who contemplate me, and am found among those who seek me. Look at me, you who contemplate me, and you who hear. Listen to me, you awaiting me. Take me to yourselves. Do not banish me from before your eyes. Do not let your voice be hateful towards me, nor your hearing. Do not be ignorant of me. In any place at any time, be alert. Do not be ignorant of me. For I am the first and the last. I am the honored and the scorned. I am the whore and I am the pure. I am the wife and I am the virgin. I am the mother and the daughter. I am the limbs of my mother. I am the barren woman who has many children. I have had many weddings and have taken no husband. I am a midwife and a woman who does not give birth. I am the solace of my own birth pains. I am bride and groom, and my husband produced me. I am the mother of my father and the sister of my husband, and he is my offspring, and I am the servant of him who fashioned me. I am the ruler of my offspring. He produced me with the premature birth, and he is my offspring born of on time, and my strength is from him. I am the staff of his power in his youth, and he is the rod of my old age, and whatever he wishes happens to me. I am silence that is incomprehensible, and insight whose memory is great. I am the voice whose sounds are many, and the word, the Eshavor, whose appearances are many. I am the utterance of my own royal title. You who hate me, why do you love me and hate those who love me? You who deny me, confess me, and you who confess me, deny me. You who tell the truth about me, tell lies about me, and you who have lied about me, tell the truth about me. You who know me, be ignorant of me. As for those who have not known me, let them know me. For I am knowledge and ignorance. I am shy and I am bold. I am shameless and I am ashamed. I am tough and I am a terror. I am war and I am peace. Be attentive to me. I am disgraced and I am great. Be attentive to my poverty and to my wealth. Do not be arrogant toward me when I am thrown down on the ground, and you will find me in those who are to come. If you see me on the dung heap, don't go and leave me thrown down there. You will find me in the royal domain. If you see me when I am thrown out, with the disgraced in the most sordid places, don't mock me. Don't throw me down violently with those in need. I am compassionate, and I am cruel. Take care not to hate my obedience, but love my self-control. In my weakness, do not disregard me, and do not fear my power. Why? For why do you despise my terror and denounce my pride? I am present in all fears, and I am strength in agitation. I am a weak woman, and I am in a pleasant locale. I am foolish, and I am wise. Why have you hated me in your counsels? Because I shall be silent among the silent, and I shall appear and speak. Why have you hated me, you Greeks? Because I am a barbarian among the barbarians? For I am the wisdom of the Greeks and the knowledge of the barbarians. I am the judgment of the Greeks and barbarians. I am the one whose image is great in Metsar, falsely called Egypt, and who has no image among the barbarians. I have been hated everywhere and loved everywhere. I am the one called life, and you have called me death. I am the one called law, the pure shelter, and you have called me lawless and no shelter. I am one who you pursued, and I am one who you seized. I am one who you have scattered, and you have gathered me together. I am one before whom you have been ashamed, and you have been shameless before me. I am a woman who does not celebrate festivals, and I am she whose festivals are many. I am Elohimic without, and I have many Elohim. I am one you have professed, and you have scorned me. I am unenlightened, and people learn from me. I am one you have despised, and you profess me. I am one from whom you have hidden, and you appear before me. Whenever you hide, I will appear, and whenever you appear, then I will hide from you. As for those who have acted foolishly, take me away from their comprehension, from grief, and receive me from comprehending and grief, and receive me from low places in creation, and take from the perfect, even if in a lowly way. From shame, take me to yourselves shamelessly. From shamelessness and shame, put my members to shame within you. Draw near to me, you who know me, and you who know my members, and establish the great among the insignificant first creatures. Draw near to childhood, to the youthah, and do not despise it, because it is small and insignificant. Do not make what is great turn away, part by part, from what is small. For what is small is known from what is great. Why do you curse me and honor me? You have smitten and you have shown mercy. Do not separate from me from the first ones whom you have known. Do not cast anyone out, nor turn anyone away. Turn yourselves. Do not know what is mine. Do not know what is mine. I know the first ones, and those after them know me. I am perfected. Sounds like it's talking about the second born. I am perfect mind and rest. Perfect rest. I am knowledge of my search. The knowledge of my search, the discovery of those who seek me, the command of those who ask of me, the power of powers through my key knowledge of Malachim, the royal messengers, the ambassadors, through my Eshavor, the word of the great Elohimic of the Elohim, through my counsel of the Eshafare, the spirit fire, the Esha fire, of all people dwelling within me, of the Eshafe, the woman dwelling within me. I am honored and praised and scornfully despised. I am peace, the Eshalom, and war has come because of me. I am alien and citizen. I am substance and a woman without substance. Those from union with me are ignorant of me, and those sharing in my being know me. Those and those far from me have known me. On the day I am near you, you are far away from me, and on the day I am far away from you, then I am near you. I am as a lamp in the heart. I am the nature of natures. I am of all the creation, the Asia fire, the spirit, and the request of souls. I am restraint and lack of restraint. I am unity and dissolution, oneness of all. I abide and dissolve. I am decent and people ascend. I am the descent and people ascend up to me. I am the focusing light of pure judgment and the pardon. I am sinless. My eyes are never closed. The root of blindness comes from me. I am desire outwardly, and within me is self-control. I am hearing adequate for everyone, and speaking that cannot be repressed. I cannot talk or speak, and yet and plentiful are my eshavors, my words. Hear me in gentleness and learn from me in roughness. I am the woman crying out, and I am cast upon the face of the earth. I prepare bread, the metzor, the Mazzaroth, and my mind within. I am the knowledge of my royal title. I cry out and I listen. I appear and I walk. I have the seal and the sign of refutation. I am the focusing light. I am the defense. I am the one called focusing light, justice, but violence is my name, my royal title. In the duality, you honor me, you who overcome, you whisper against me, you who are overcome, focus light before you are having the focus light upon you, because in you are focused light and partiality, and you are condemned by it. You who will pardon you? If you are pardoned by it, who can then detain you? For what is within you is without you, and the one who fashioned you on the outside has formed you within. The duality. What you see outside, you see within you. It is visible, and it is your invisible garment. Hear me, give me your ear, you listeners, and learn of my eshavors, my pure words. You who know me, I am hearing adequate for everything. I am speaking that cannot be repressed. I am the royal title of the voice of the royal title. I am the sign, the logo of the letter, of the symbol, and the indignation of division. I am the light, and I am the shadow. Give me your ear, you listeners, and take me to yourselves as the Yochelleg, who is the great Dolofim, the healer and the sunrise, the great power, lives. The one who stands before you will not change his royal title. He would not do it. It is the one who stands who created me. I will utter his royal title. Look at the eshavors, the words of this one, and all the texts from the ancient past that have been written. Pay attention, you listeners, and you who are the royal messengers, the Malachim, and you who have been sent, and your Asia fire, your spirits who have risen from the dead. I alone exist. I am the one, and I have no one to focus light on me. For there are many sorts of seductive blindnesses and deeds without restraint, and disgraceful desires and fleeing pleasures that people embrace until they become sober and wake up and rise up to their true place of rest, the Shalom of eternal peace, day without end. Then there they will find me there, and they will then live and never die again. And you just got Thunder, Perfect Mind, ladies and gentlemen, on the Forbidden History Live. And I'm Dezert-Owl. Glad you're tuned in. We're going to a break. And when we come back, we're going to do some eshavors, some words, what they didn't want you to know, that we tell right here. You did tell your friends, right? Okay. Give them a call right now if you didn't tell them. And thank you for tuning in. I'll be right back.
refuse to hear. You turn your heart away from me each time when I draw near. Your eyes refuse to meet with mine, they glance away in fear, as if you should not look at your reflection in the mirror. How can I explain to you when you won't understand? You scoff me and you mock me and reject the truth at hand. You spread your vicious rumors all across this troubled land. You willfully and knowingly transgress from his command. Your mind has been made unto you by people you don't know, whose thought machines control the scene so well it doesn't show. How can I contain this anguish and this pain, knowing that your eyes are blinded by the lies? Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Every time I think about the damage that's been done, the anger wells inside me till I'm almost overcome. I want to tear the moon out of the sky and drop the sun. Why do I feel so all alone, like I'm the only one? Even though your eyes are open, they may never ever see. Your mind may never comprehend this sinful subtlety. Your heart may never hunger for the truth that sets you free. Your soul may know the darkness of divine eternity. Like petty thieves who plunder in the shadows of the night, they break inside and enter through the windows of your mind. How can I control this poisoning of the soul? These lies that blind your eyes, blinded by the lies. Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Your mind has been made up for you by people you don't know, whose thought machine controls the scene so well it doesn't show. How can I contain this anguish and this pain, knowing that your eyes are blinded by the lies? Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies. Have your eyes been blinded by the lies? Yes, your eyes are blinded by the lies.
Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order.
The New World Order does not mean surrendering our national sovereignty or forfeiting our interests.
Yeah, and what interests are those you're talking about, George Bush? Your interests? Yeah, where like you're taking us into the New World Order type of deal, and of course there's really nothing new under the sun, and the New World Order is the old world order. It's a one world order. They've always been here. They've always been the lawless order that's been enslaving mankind, and so you have to wake up to it, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing new. That's what they want you to think it's new. They want you to think it's a bunch of corporate officials that are kind of like, taking over, and yeah, okay, yeah, just like. I love that. I love that clip of the education system right there. You saw it. They do a biopsy on your brain. They break the light bulb, and then they put that Masonic mortarboard on top of your head. And I'm so grateful I didn't graduate with a Masonic mortar brought on my head, because it would have meant that I had mud in my eyes, and yeah. So okay, so we're gonna do a few words, and then we got Ninja Cat down in Australia wanted to call in real quick, and we're gonna take her call before we do the Fenton read, okay? But and want to welcome again any new listeners that are out there, and it's been a long journey to get here to be able to share the information I'm sharing on this broadcast, Forbidden History Live. It's been a lifetime of prep to be able to see clearly what for a long time was very obscure and clouded, yet I saw part of it. And many of the things that I share with you today, just 6 years ago, I couldn't have imagined that I would be seeing these things. In other words, the unfolding, what it is. In other words, I have a statement that I would always want to give to my friends, and it is that the things that you follow are these the things that have been handed to you by tradition, or are these the things that have been revealed to you? Because what I learned early on, 40 years ago, okay, is that what tradition handed us is part truth and part lie. Our scriptures have all been corrupted. There is no original. And they control the words. Once the Vatican knew that they couldn't keep people from getting copies of Scripture, then the only other thing they could do is control the words. And so they control the words outside the Vatican at a place run by the Jesuit Curii called the College of Abbreviators. And like I was saying 35 years ago, look, they're abbreviating these words. What's going on? Then I learned 10 years ago by getting the book, The Secret Archives of the Vatican, the lady in there says that they engineered the words outside the Vatican called College of Abbreviators. Whoa. So there you go. So they couldn't control people getting Scripture. So what they did is they controlled the narrative of the Scripture. Okay. And so this is the unseen hand, the hidden hand, the people that we will never know are running the Vatican. They're the ancient Aryan Brahmin, the Zobran, an ancient Aryan cult. Okay. We talk about Adam, being the first one of the Aryan race, and this is another thing I never thought I would come to see. I thought all the races came out of Noah. That was what they told me, but then or we could have concluded it started with Adam, but no, the other races were already here. The Aryan came last, and this is the great lie. You see, this is the great lie. So there were other Adam and Eve, for lack of a better word, Adam and Eve, spontaneous generation. Man and woman did not evolve. We were all spontaneously generated by Elohim. And so this is, the problem we have within our wrapping our mind around so much of this is it's not what our scriptures is telling us, even when it's been part corrupted. But it's really what it's not saying. What is it not saying? Well, it's saying very little in comparison to what it's not saying, because we're talking about the entire history of the planet and about all the other races. The Paracas, the Cro-Magnon, the Neanderthal, the Dravidic, the African, who is called the Asian, who are not really Asian because the Asian is actually the Aryan. And so when you look at all the documentaries that are out there now, all the great discoveries, and it becomes so clear. And then there are other giant races as well. It's just and there was another one just discovered up in Siberia recently. I don't even remember the name. That literally there's a history of our planet that we're just not privy to. Okay, but yet the scriptures are conveying a message that can be correctly transliterated and interpreted once you know the code, ladies and gentlemen. You see the code that they are using. Remember at the beginning of the broadcast, I showed you all the false letters, the B, the C, the F, the I, the J, the X, the W. All these letters have confused our original thought, confused the diction. And that, therefore, once we know the code, then we can fix the code, get rid of the false narrative, the false symbols, and restructure, there you go, not construct, but restructure the original root forms, ladies and gentlemen, the parent roots, the one-letter root, the two-letter root, and the three-letter root combinations. That's how it begins. You have to restructure it from the beginning, and that's what I've been doing for over 40 years now, okay? And so, words basically are not what you think, okay? You think you know what you mean when you say what you say, but you really do not know what you mean when you say something, because you are using Yochelleg. Well, let's use the corruption. Words. There's that W again. Wait a minute. Look at the word. If you change the O, you get war. W-A-R. Maybe these words are a subliminal war that's been waged against us. Do you want words? War? Okay, think about it, because it's not. It's it's a V. Okay, so the way we back engineer, I'll give you one more clue, okay, to help out our new listeners, okay? So it says in the beginning was the word. Wait a minute, was? I thought it in the beginning is the word, right? And the word was God? Wait a minute, I thought it should be is God. At the beginning, and the word is God. You know what I'm saying? That you can look on the surface at it logically, and there's a problem, okay? So we got word, W-O-R-D, becomes with an S. We get sword, S-W-O-R-D, and then we get in the Greek we get logo. Okay, so you see the sword is a logo, but what is the sword? It's a flaming sword, actually, as we saw when they fell from the light. The flaming sword was protecting the way back. It was pointing the way back. A flaming sword that points in every direction, and it is a logo, is the sun. That's the prime logo in the universe. It's a star. But the original word is A-S-H-A-V-O-R, okay? Yochelleg, there's the word. You see, because the W is a V, and the D, you just have to drop it, because D is death. D is destruction. D is darkness. D is a killer word, death, okay? So that's how they manipulated our Yochellegs. They created, it's their creation. It's not ours, it's theirs. So it's the Yochelleg, and the Yochelleg means the royal eye, or the royal eye at the center of light. That's what it's implying. The A is the symbol, prime symbol of light. It's the royal eye. What is the royal eye? It is the logo. It is the sun, the flaming sword. It is the vor, at the vortex, at the center of all things. Well, is not the sun at the center of the solar system? Well, I guess not if you're a flat earther, but I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry, because our scriptures plainly declare the true nature of things, and we have to define things according to scripture. And this, everything came out of the light. Everything came out of the light, ladies and gentlemen. In the beginning, that's what we just read. Go back and listen to the last two broadcasts, okay? At the very first broadcast, we point out that it was that when it said, and I'll do it again for our new listeners, all right, real quick, okay, in Ganesha, Genesis, because see, this is how the trick is played. It's the smallest letters are the most powerful, and it says in the beginning, Yahweh, it says God, and I don't like to use that term because that's the Pope. But in the beginning, the great Dol of Haim created this heaven and the earth. But you see, it would be heaven is a code for the in the primary sense the sun, but it would be like the sun, earth, and moon, and all the stars. That's what it implies. That's what you see when you look up there, and we call it the heavens, right? The sun, earth, and moon, and all the stars. Okay, and then in verse 2, and the earth, it says, was without form, but that's close, but it's not correct. It is that in the beginning the earth was not yet formed. You see, well, doesn't that make sense that there was a time when the earth did not exist? Of course. So in the beginning, and the earth was not yet formed, and then it says, and void. But you see, it's not void, but it's within the void. It was not yet formed within the void. What void? The void of the darkness, of the outer space. And the darkness was upon the face of the deep. Well, the deep is the cosmos. It's the cosmic sea. It's what do they call it? A Gaelic sea, right? Of all the stars, it's a Gaelic sea. And so then it said, and then the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. Well, it's not talking about the Atlantic Ocean. It's talking about the face of the cosmic sea, moved across the vastness of the cosmic sea. And then what happens? It breathed into a gaseous orb of atoms, and then said, "Let there be light." You see, and then there was light. The star was ignited. That's verse 3. You see, the light comes first, and then the moons and the planets come out as children of the sun, and that's why they go around the sun, being nurtured every day by the mother star, because that's what the sun is. It's a mother star. Okay, so that's how we began those scriptures. Okay, and so words are not supposed to control you. You are supposed to be in control of the words, ladies and gentlemen. But they wanted you to go spell, to read their gospel, the gospel, and when it was originally called Evangelion. And Evangelion, there's the word lion for the fiery sun. Eva, there's the star at the beginning and at the end of Evangelion. The star, Av, A-V, Evangelion. Okay, and what it literally means is the star message of enlightenment. That's why the lion is at the end, leon, because it is the symbol of being enlightened, the furry mane of a male lion, because it's the female hair that's around him, right? Because typically the women have long hair, but we see the African lion has the female and the male together, representing the androgynous nature of the Son, of Yeshua, and of what we have to have with the Spirit, okay? So there you go. So I've got just a couple words here. Then we'll take a call from Ninja Cat 111. That's our other broadcast down there in Australia, Aussieland. And okay, so and yeah, we do take calls. Anybody else wants to call after Ninja, we'll be glad to take it. We're going to probably do FENTON next, and then after that, we'll open it up to any other callers. Okay, we'll get through FENTON. We'll do a call with Ninja, but real quick, Israel, Yisrael. Israel is Yisrael, and that's okay. So let me spell that out for you, okay, so you can see it. It helps. Remember, Confucius says, "I hear and I forget. I see and get the picture, and then I remember." So let's do it. Israel, and that becomes Asha, Asharyoool. Okay, there you go. And so you can see the primitive, right? So what we have is an abbreviation. I mean, the letter I does not even exist. Okay, and there's Just Love getting the vision now. She's lavaing people. It's just lava now, right? It's just lava, right? Of course, love is where we get. Where does the word love come from? Okay, let's show that one real quick. Okay, it comes from, here it is. Let me show you. Hang on. Elohim. It becomes OOL. LOVHAYM. Okay, so there it is. So L, the prime root L, as we see in many names, is a corruption that comes out of the Babylonian Talmud. The original for L is OOL. Okay, and so like with the word elder, ELDER, which is correctly then the L is really the OOLTOR. Okay, there we go. So you see ultor. So elder, the der, like we see in the Deutsch. Okay, this like the word spider, right? The word spider. Take the der and put it in the beginning, like the word the, and is der spy. The spider is der spy. You see, it's the spy. You can see the original thought there, right? You know that the spider is the spy because he's up there on the ceiling and nobody ever looks at him or sees him. You see? He's the spy. He's spying on you. That's the spy, but they called it the spider. You see, they mix up the words so you don't get the picture of the original thought. So elder is the L. Because why? Because he's supposed to be enlightened. He's older. The elder is older, but correctly it is the ultor, because he's the owl, he's the visionary, he's the sage, and he's got power because he's been around a long time. He's sovereign in the sense of his age. The ultor, he's been around. Tour, when you go on tour, you go around, right? So he's the ultor, he's been around. You see, so all of these elements are within these words. But we were talking about Israel, and Israel is Esha Re'ul. Esha is a prime root. We saw it on the map, but nobody ever told us what Esha means. But it means the royal eye, and we are supposed to have royal eyes. That's why it's pointed out that L correctly is Ul. The prime root for owl, O-W-L, is correctly O-O-L. You can see it in the symbols. The W is a corruption, as we talked about earlier, and it's really two O's because it's symbol of sun and moon. And then the L is the symbol of illumination that occurs on Earth, because the sun and moon are shining down on Earth, the sun in the day and the moon at night, right? And so this is why we talk about symbolism on here as well, and do reading out of the books on symbolism almost every broadcast, not everyone. We're doing a special right now, so don't have time to go there probably. But you see, so Israel, Esha Re'ul in the original thought then means when you can interpret the root form, means the royal eye with the vision of the night. And so that's what Esha Re'ul was supposed to be. But because they were the firstborn and they were blind, then they did not receive the promise. They did not go into the promised land. And that's why we're told that we have to be the secondborn. Remember, they all died in the wilderness, and only Joshua and Caleb came into the promised land. So all of the adults died. They were the firstborn. And that's symbolic of why we have to be the secondborn, because the firstborn are dead. That's what happened in Meitzar, Egypt, right? All the firstborn were killed. And so it was symbolic of the fact that that's why it says we have to be born again, because when we're born into this lower realm, we're dead. It's a spiritual death. And so we have to die metaphysically and be the secondborn, be reborn a second time, the secondborn. That's the correct terminology. You only heard it here, okay, because nobody's using it. They all want to say second. They want to say born again, but it is correctly the secondborn. Now go look at your scriptures in the book of Genesis, okay? Because who was it that got the promise? Who was it that received the Baruchim, the blessing? It was always the secondborn, okay? Now when you read it, you'll see it differently, and it's going to blow your mind. How did you miss it? Because they changed the words, ladies and gentlemen. They changed the words, okay? So that's Israel. And now we're going into one more, and it's Meitzar. And Meitzar is the original word for Egypt. Do you see? There's the word, the mother, the mother's eye, because that's what May implies. The AY is the original for eye. EYE is correctly in the original AY. And there's the symbols of light, the symbol of the sun. You don't have eyes. You have A's. A, why? Because it's at the first of the alphabet. It looks like a carrot, right? It projects out just like a carrot. Remember they said carrots are good for your eyes, the projection, the thing that gets bigger as it goes out. And so there's the symbol of light, because the light projects out. That's the letter A. And the Y is the symbol for the yellow of the light. And so you have A's, and and that's the first letter of the alphabet, because that's where you start looking at the beginning. You have to go back to the beginning. It's telling you that the first thing that was made is the sun, is the light, okay? And all of our scriptures are not telling it correctly. But yet it is possible to know, because Yeshua is the revealer. And the one who made all things is the one who reveals all things. Did he not say there is nothing unknown that cannot be known? There is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what's happening here, because the lies are so great. And because the lies are so great, he has to grab somebody and put the truth back on the table, because we're at the end of our world. You know that. And therefore, this is relevant information. It's relevant because there's a bunch of psychopaths running our world who wants to kill us. They've robbed us of our truth. They've robbed us of our original thought, and therefore we're on the merry-go-round of religion with 660 flavors of Baskin Robbins. What flavor do you want? Yet there's only one truth. It's not a part of any lie. One victory of light, and that's faith, victory of light, and one soul novation, salvation, S-A-L-V-A-T-I-O-N, is soul, S-O-L-N-O-V-A-T-I-O-N, soul novation, okay? Soul, there's the sun. It means you become a new star. Isn't that what he told Abraham? He says that your seed will be like the stars of heaven. We have to become a new star. Our soul has to be ignited by the great breath that is breathing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I know I get on a rant, but it's important to hear these things over and over, and it's taken a long time to be able actually to spell it out, because it's such a deep science, and it took 40 years of prep. Okay, 40 years since I climbed that mountain 40 years ago, Mount Whitney, Central California. So I have Metzar here because I wanted to point it out. It is a form of the word bread. In other words, when Yeshua said, "I am the bread of life," what he really said was, "I am the matzah of life," or the Metzar. Correctly, it would be Metzar. See, this is how they destroyed it. This is how they literally destroyed the meaning. So you can't get the picture. And so what he really said is, "I am the star of life." Well, that's what sovereign means, because sovereign is star ram, and the star ram is the sun. The sun is the symbol of a ram, symbol of a horse, symbol of an eagle, symbol of an elephant, symbol of a lion, and symbol of a serpent. Okay, all of those things are symbols of the sun, depending upon the metaphor and the relationship we're talking about. So what he really said is, I am the not the bread of life, I am the Metzar of life. And that means the mother's eye of the royal star. I am the mother's eye of the royal star is the literal sense of that. And so he's claiming to be of the light. And he says, and unless you eat this Metzar, unless you can consume this, you will not have life in you. You see? So it's just like what I'm sharing with you is that same aspect of that. Unless you can see this, that they've adulterated, they've altered our eshavors, our words on the sacred altar of deception, because they are a religion of falsehood, and they took over the truth, and that's what we have been following all of our lives in this death, is the lie, the great lie, part truth, part lie. And Jesus loves you, yes, I know, for the Bible tells me so, but yet nobody can ever interpret anything. And they can't even read. They told them to go spell. Told them right at the top of the book, go spell. Okay, so what is read? What is read? Okay, let's look at the word read, because this is from Indo-Germanic now. Okay, R-E-A-D. No, and interesting that read is the root form for bread. By the way, R-E-A-D is two words, R-E-A-D, and it really means to add the, and that's what Shipley said. Okay, Shipley, who gave us two Indo-Germanic dictionaries, he said read is an abbreviation of re-add, and it literally means to re-add the riddle, because we're being played upon, you see? Yeah, and the spelling bee, and the bee has a sting of death, Crystal, sting of death. So is it a good, I think then the bee stung us, right? We were stung by the spelling bee, and then we were put under the spell. Bzz, oh, tell me what to think. I don't know what to think anymore. Is there a line I can stand in? I'm looking for a good line somewhere. Oh, and yeah. So okay, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The mother. So literally, Metzar in another sense means the mother's eye and food of the cosmos. So it's like saying, when he says, "I am the Metzar," and I'm the Metzar of life. He's like saying, I am the cosmic essence. So in other words, what we have to consume is everything around us. We're supposed to be enlightened. Everything is speaking, and it is possible to know who we are, where we are, when we are, and why we are. Okay, so it's a mind blower, and this is why I'm writing a dictionary to support the transliteration project. We're going to go beyond Fenton and Lamsa. George Farrar Fenton, 1905, from the Hebrew and Greek, and then George Lamsa from the Aramaic in the East, are the two most important translations of scriptures, transliterations, and we're going to go past them because of none of them talk about is the conspiracy to deceive. With the College of Abbreviators and the Vatican and the tricks. I think Fenton probably knew a lot of it, but he didn't talk about it, because I think he wanted to get his book published, and he knew that if he went too far, he wouldn't get it published. And so basically, when you compare Fenton and Lamsa together, which are the two most important translations, Lamsa came out in 1933, but they told him they wouldn't publish his book unless he let them edit it. They said, no, George, we can't publish your Eastern Peshitta, which is in English, because it'll destroy the King James and the other, and it'll blow the cover off of all of our occultic program here. And so he said, okay, and they changed a lot of the words, but nonetheless, there is so much of Lamsa in the Peshitta that it is still the most significant translation, along with Fenton. When you read both of them together and compare, that'll take you further back to the original than any other way, okay? Because there are no originals and there are only bad translations, but there are a few good ones, and I share the best with you, okay? I ended up with 60 different versions on the shelf, 60 different translations of our scriptures, and and so yeah, we're going down the rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen, of this great awakening we're in, and want to welcome our new listeners. And Zealot Now Chosen, glad to have you. And you also made some wonderful comments on our broadcast, on our comment board, and thank you. And welcome to the club, okay? Because we've got a lot of people here that have been beaten up pretty bad, and I'm one of them. And Ninja, who's going to call in now, Ninja, get on the phone. And we've experienced the other side, and we're still here. We're toughing it out. We're surviving, and we're making lemonade out of lemons. So we're gonna now hear from Ninja Cat down under, and I guess I'm gonna get muted out here in a second. So if you hear silence, that's the switch out on the Skype. Okay, and 1 second. Okay, one. You need 2 seconds now. What's going on? That's the Cosmic Essence. That's our secondary channel we created with Ninja. We're gonna slice all of these longer programs we're doing, and we're gonna post them on the Cosmic Essence. So check it out and subscribe. And when things are posted there, you'll get notice. It'll save you having to listen to a 3-hour broadcast, and you can by topic find what you're looking for. We're gonna do symbols, words, and scriptures, and in different categories. Okay, so it's going to be great for as a research tool. The Cosmic Essence, just getting to the brass tacks. And okay, is Ninja having on phone? Okay, not Skype. Oh, you're calling in on the phone. Okay, well that's fine. Calling on the phone. Wait a minute, I got to put this up to my face again. Why? What? How come you can't call in on Skype? And we can have perfect quality. What's going on? I don't want to talk 30 minutes with this on my face, Ninja. What's going on? Shelly, why can't we do the phone or the Skype? Nobody's talking to me.
She wanted to call you on the phone for some reason. I don't
No.
know.
Let's do Skype. Let's do Skype. All right. We get perfect quality there. This phone is a 3G. I don't need to have 3G looking at me. Okay. So in the meantime, okay, I got to sing, right? Okay. Well, I'm grateful for all the new friends that have stopped by. Great group of people. I'm very honored to be finding the cream of our society popping in, because you folks show that you do care, okay, and that you are trying to figure things out. Everybody here, they come here, they're respectful. They throw a lot of hearts around, and I've never when I started officially my next series round on June 21st, 2018. I met all of these wonderful friends. I didn't have nobody to talk to. Literally, my phone didn't ring. My phase of broadcasting was over 5 years earlier, and I couldn't get an interview anywhere. Nobody wanted to talk to me. And I got to tell you, when you know all this stuff, and you see, what's happening in our world, and nobody gets it, it's rather. You start to fall into depression, and you wonder, what is it all worth? You dedicate your life to knowing something, and then nobody wants to listen. Nobody. It's really it's an amazing thing.
Stand by.
Okay.
Ninja.
Desert.
Well, there you are.
G'day.
Okay, I'm going to have to put a check in the mail, I guess, right? Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. G'day and love you all in the chat, and I'm loving this, and I have to be really quick.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I want to sit and talk for ages, but I have to be really quick. I could get interrupted any second, and I've got respite coming at 2. That's in half an hour.
All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
No, don't bring Apollo in here, okay? Apollo, he seems to always end up in our conversations. Apollo guy, the guys of Apollo, putting on the mask of Apollo. I don't know where that came from, but no worries, Ninja. We're here and we're making lemonade out of lemons. It tastes pretty good, right? I mean, come on.
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. Yeah, it's amazing. I was seeing things, and that's why I had to call in. Otherwise, I might not have.
Okay.
I probably would have anyway. But
right. Lynn, I just want to say, Lynn, thank you for the audio check. We got a 10-10, so that's good to know. And go ahead, please continue.
Okay, sorry, I have to keep watching the door.
All right.
Yeah. The first thing I saw was I'll go back up. I'm scrolling up in the chat. Wish me yeah, it's the chat is very chatty today. I don't know if I'll ever find it. I wrote it down. I can't remember who said it. I apologize. Please type in if you remember saying this comment, guys. It was about owls, owl, and the word guardian, and it made me think of a movie, animated movie with owls that were guardians. And I was just thinking they're telling us again in the media, like with everything they tell us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. So that was that.
Okay.
And also.
Well, okay. Well, let's just add. You see, because it's creating a metaphor with guardian, right? And so,
yes.
who is the true guardian? Let's ask the question: who is the true owl, and who is the true guardian? The great Father Yochelleg, the great Spirit. He is the owl. He's the one who sees all things. He obviously made Yeshua to be his active agent within this universe. So Yeshua and the Father are one, because the Father Yochelleg, who is pure energy, is so great that if he came into our arena, we would all be dead in a heartbeat and dissolved. So Yeshua is the active agent. He and the Father are one. When you see him, you see the Father. And so he is the guardian. He's the owl. He's the guardian. It says that's why he knows how many hairs are on our head, because he is beyond the infinity, or the infinite nature that belongs to him. He said, all power on earth and in the cosmos has been given unto me. So he maintains all the stars and all the universe. What kind of power is that? And so he's the guardian. Yeah, he's the one who's been protecting me all of these years. How many attempts have I had on my life? About a dozen? About 3 or 4 with automobiles, and then, stabbed and shot within 36 hours. I had 2 carloads of gun-toting guys wanting to surround me and take out my life another time. I've had. And then the establishment fell victim to a government sting operation. So, yeah, he's my guardian. He's the one who's allowed me to see. The owl made me an owl and caused me to see. Yeah. We're all supposed to be owls in the metaphor, because we are Ashan. Ashan means the royal eye that came down. We're all product of a sun, all product of light, but we fell into dense matter, and therefore darkness, and therefore deception. And therefore we buy more into the illusions and can never get to ground zero, because we have denied or left out the one who made all things, because it's the one who made all things who reveals all things. That's where we have to make the connection.
Wow. Let there be Zorain. Desert? Zoray.
Original word for light. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Also, thank you. Also, you mentioned Mandela. I've never heard you mention that before. And it made me think again of Mandela There's the word man at the start of that. And the obvious one, Mandela effect, the symbol, Mandela symbol, the circle around Shiva, in front of CERN, mind control, all of that stuff.
And the steering wheel, that giant steering wheel with knobs all around it on the classical sailing ship. Remember the giant steering wheel and you spin it? That's a Mandela. That's called a Mandela.
Really?
Because they're at the start, they're at the center, right? The ancient Aryan Hindu Brahmin are at the center, and they steer the Mandela and the ship.
Wow!
Of state.
Oh, desert! Wow! Oh, wow! Yeah.
They're everywhere. The Hindu tip their hand. The White House.
My head
for those
is exploding.
who haven't heard me, the White House. The design of the White House is Indian. It comes from India. That White House is a design that originates from India, and then you got the Oval Office, which is the ovary office because it represents the woman, and so that's the play on the words. Okay, right across the street from the White House is a park, and it's called Lafayette. Lafayette, the Fae of creation. There it is, right there. The Fae of creation, right across the street from the White House. So signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor law. And it's all over Washington. Absolutely. Yeah,
and you reminded me of the Indian temples you mentioned with the circles on top and the V-manners. And it's just all connecting.
Yeah, and the White House, they're all white buildings. And why do they call it, why are all the buildings white? And why do they call it Washington? Because it's a whitewash. It's brainwashing. It's the center for brainwashing. And the collection of all the names and titles of all people, all property. And what does capital mean? Kappa means head. Capital, the tail means to count, to tally.
Can I say it? Can I say it? Go ahead. You just made me think of capitate. Decapitate.
Well, right, but I'm saying it's about the head count. They collected all of our names on birth certificates, put them in the Department of Commerce in Washington, D.C., and capital means the head count. All they're doing is managing slaves.
Yeah.
That's all it's about.
Yeah.
And commerce is good. When you they put in $1 million+ into commerce for every baby certificate that they get, every slave certificate from Roman civil law. That's where the slave certificate came from. Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I hear you. I'm a slave right now. Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, but you're being set free.
Yes.
You're in a process. We're all in a process. Mm-hmm.
And I just want to reassure all the newcomers, all the new listeners that are seeing so much right now. It's taken me a year, but my process has been slower because I never had anything all I did was search for truth. I never read any scripture. I never went to church. So this is all brand new to me, and because of my situation, all I want to do is read and do live streams, and I barely get a chance to read. So doing the YouTube thing and working with Desert and the Yo engineers, love you guys. That is how I'm seeing everything. So don't be discouraged at the challenge at the start, because it'll take a while for it to open up and really start to make sense. Just persist with it. It's true. If you can feel it now and know that there's something here that is real, persist with it. Yeah, it's amazing. Right. It really
I think
is.
what you're trying to say is we leave no stone unturned and no turn unstoned, and we say things that nobody else is talking about in so many ways. That's what Forbidden History is all about. I actually you may notice there's a lot of forbidden histories out there, ladies and gentlemen, but I coined the term back in 1997 when I created the Forbidden History catalog, when I had United Truckers defending the Constitution, when I thought the Constitution was relevant. And so literally on the internet, I had the first I coined the term first for Forbidden History. Then a guy a couple years right after that published a book called The Forbidden History. Now even Graham Hancock, who I love, the work of Graham Hancock. He even has a program he did called Forbidden History, or it's the name of his channel. I can't remember, but they say imitation is the art of flattery. But I don't own the term. It's just that I have been doing Forbidden History. For all of us, over 20 years now as a broadcast. Okay, since 1997. So it's 19. So 22 years, number of perfection. 22 years now I have been doing the Forbidden History. I started reading ancient history at age 14, and so that was I'm losing count of time, but I'm 63. Okay, so do the math. Okay, math is truth. Ninja, back to you.
Wow. I'm sorry. Just wow. I apologize. I'm through the day. I'm very distracted. There's a lot of things going on. I just want to say again how amazing this is. And I'm not thinking very straight right now. I'm trying to stay focused, and I'm getting wow moments while listening. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's daytime for me, Desert. I just wanted to call in because I can't not call in.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't say at the start, how are you?
How am I?
Yes.
Well, my head is kind of spinning tonight. I just got another wonderful comment in off the notifications board. This is the latest comment that came in, and I don't have many. I don't get many at all. Okay, we're just really ramping up, and therefore nobody has been posting any comments on our board, literally. And go back and look, you'll see it. And so now all of a sudden people are commenting. And Jason, here, this guy named Jason Mark Robertson commented, "What a feast for the mind! Thanks to you for subbing and gaining my attention. Gaining my attention. I have subbed and am attentive." So thank you, Jason, and hope to see you on the chat one day. You may be listening right now, even. Okay.
Wow.
So so I've been subbing to other history channels like Brian Forrester's Inca Tours. He just does some wonderful work, and I figured those folks over there might be interested in what we're talking about here. But especially anybody who knows the world's at its end. And if they haven't figured it out yet, then go listen to Dane Wigington. Go to the YouTube channel Dane Wigington, DANE WIGINGTON, 2 words, Dane Wigington, first and last name, and he's got geoengineeringwatch.org, and he does a Saturday broadcast that'll make you want to cry, and you'll know that the world is over. And then Higher Truth, the Higher Truth, or the Higher Truth channel rises. The Higher Truth channel rises, 5 words, I guess, and you'll see a picture of a guy from the movie Avatar. You'll see the blue picture of the guy from Avatar, and that's this guy's a naturopathic doctor, and he talks about the harmful effects of UVC and UVB radiation. And then when you add the meter readings every day by Mr. MBB 333, what?
Sorry, before you move on, I just want to add with the Higher Truth Rises, I really appreciate the stuff that he's been doing on Australia lately, because we shout it from the rooftops down here and nobody listens. And like with our last year, I know there's not as many of us down here on YouTube keeping track of everything, and that makes it harder for people. But I did the same thing the previous summer, and this past summer was deadly, and it's always a little bit more extreme each time. And so
it's getting worse. Well, my point is that with Mr. MBB 333, he gives daily readings from across the nation here in America, and you will see that when UVC is supposed to be at a 0, you'll see the meter. The meters don't lie. that and these are independent people from all over America, and he gets their clips every day, and that UVC is supposed to be at a 0, and just 2 weeks ago thereabouts, it was a 70. That is off the charts. The only tolerant level would be like a 10. Okay, it's at a 70 in some places now, and I just saw another reading in Florida, and so he gives the readings of the UVB and the UVC all over the land, and Australia is closer to the sun in the wintertime. You're closer to the sun. In our summer, in your summertime, you're closer to the sun. In our summertime, we're further away, so you have worse capability for UVB and UVC, Ninja.
Our sun is intense at the moment, like it's sideways. So
I want to emphasize these 3 channels. Take note of them, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll get up to speed real quick. They took down all of Higher Truth's last channel. He had 50,000 hours. He even told you how to cure cancer, okay, because he's a naturopath. And they've tried to kill him a couple times now. They poisoned him. He ended up in a hospital. And so all of the truth tellers, like Ninja when she called the radio control towers about the UFOs and they wanted to kill her. And they've been trying to kill me for a couple decades, and Higher Truth. So we're all in good company here. That's probably what happened to most of you, because that's where we end up is down here. And I used to joke and say we end up down here in the sewer. We all got flushed. And now we're making lemonade out of lemons. So there you go. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's intense. Yesterday was, I don't know how to describe it. It's obvious they're faking all the weather. They're controlling all the weather because they forgot to make it cold yesterday. As I was saying, the sun. It's so intense because it's lower in the sky. You can't look in that direction at all, and it was really hot yesterday, and they forgot to turn on the cold wind, so it was obvious. It was noticeable, and just to add to the radiation, I noticed it last summer, but I'm hearing a lot from you guys over there in the States that you feel like you're heating from the inside. So please be careful, be safe, and drink lots of water, filtered water. Anyway, I have to go. I'm so sorry. I would love to stay and chat, but I have to go and get Mum ready so I can have a break and focus on this wonderful program. Yeah.
All right, Ninja. Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time, and you always call in. I'm very grateful for your support of our broadcast, and you make it. You've been with us for about a year now, over a year since the last June 21st, 2018, where people can go to the Forbidden History series. The Forbidden History series, and see the archives. Now, you want to tell them real quick when you're on? Do you have time? I can do it.
You can do it after I go. I just want to say that we're getting the alphabet up on Cosmic. I'm going to post A is up there. I'm going to post B after this program. We're clipping. To save time, we're clipping it from the live streams on Ninja Cat 111, the Forbidden History Chronicles. We're clipping it from there. You can go to Cosmic and it'll be a quick, easy reference. If you're looking for A is there. If you're looking for B, you go to B, and so on and so on. So that you don't have to sift through all the live streams, because there is a lot around now on our channels to find something in particular. So it's a quick reference channel. So B is going up after the program. Yeah. Oh, and Desert, were you happy with that? Do I need?
Well, you can post it. You can post it. We have to talk about some more of the work we're doing, and so it's a work in progress. So okay.
So B's good to go. I just want to double check.
And so Shelley got up the board with the schedule, so we're good on that. All right, and so we'll
I have to
see
go.
you in the chat.
Okay.
Right? Peace
Okay,
and love.
love you guys.
You too.
Thank you just for being here. Yeah.
Okay, Ninja. Be
Okay,
well. Be
and I have
safe
to.
now.
Okay, I'll be
All right.
safe. You be
All
safe
right.
too.
We'll do. Bye.
Okay.
No
See ya.
worries. All right.
No worries.
Yeah, she always says that. I always say, well, who's worried? I'm not worried.
Not worried.
Yeah. Okay.
I hear your voice every time I
Somebody
say
better
not
get
worried.
worried, though. I'll tell you. All right. We'll see you, Ninja. Love you.
All right.
All
Okay.
right. Hang
See
up
ya.
so I can resume call.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
I'm finding it. Yeah. Okay.
Hang up the phone. All right. Resumed? Okay, I think we're resumed. Give me an audio check out there. Give me a number. 10 is perfect. Are we still good? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Okay. All right. Laughing out loud. Ninja's laughing. I'm still looking for an audio check. Thank you, Ninja. Okay. So look at. I want to really get myself recharged, and I want to really hit this transliteration. I may be able to go through it all, or I'll at least do half of it. Okay. So I'm going to set up. In the meantime, let's do another short break. Okay. And this give you time to go get a refreshment or use the restroom or call a friend or just enjoy the music, ladies and gentlemen, one way or another. We'll be right back right here on Forbidden History Live. I'm Dezert-Owl, and it's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. You'll figure that out real soon. Okay, don't go away. Right back. Yes, you are tuned in right here to Forbidden History Live, ladies and gentlemen, and want to welcome our new listeners that stop by. So many great people out there, that deserve to know the truth. When I became a political activist, I actually thought we could clean up the corruption in Washington and then roll up our sleeves, and then when we're done, get back with our normal lives. Then I learned the truth, that we are in a very the word lethal comes to mind, lethal psychopathic world, and where nothing is real. And thank you for that. You're reading my mind already, Shelley. I was gonna ask you to bring on the serpent, okay? Because the question was that Linda had is God, was that the question? I got to scroll up. Linda, let's see here. Okay, where is that? Is God to you a serpent? And I assume you were addressing that to me. I wasn't following the conversation, so remember, put desert in all capital letters, and then upper and lower on your comment or question. That helps me out. But I'll be glad to tackle that because creation is the serpent. Creation is the serpent. So the father of light, the Yochelleg, who is misnomered as Yahweh, but there's no W, so the truth is not a part of any lie, and so we have to correctly put the V in there, and it's Yavel. But then we put the vowels, we add the vowels, and the L is a secret vowel. Yavel, there's the affirmative. Yavel, he is the breath, because he breathed, as we found out at the beginning of the story, that the great breath moved, which is spirit, moved upon the face of the cosmos, then breathed into a star. Okay, and so the father of light, the Yochelleg, who brought forth the creation, brought forth all the creation, he is spirit. Okay, he is spirit, and therefore he is energy. Okay, he is energy. But when he made the first atom, and the first atom is Yeshua, okay? And so Yeshua, being the first atom, in other words, he constitutes all things, right? That's why he says, when you didn't visit those in prison, you didn't visit me. When you didn't feed the hungry, you didn't feed me. When you didn't visit the sick, you didn't visit me, right? Why? Because we are him. We are him by material form. He is the first atom. He is the first made of all things, and therefore he constitutes all things, and yet he is spirit at the same time. So creation is the serpent. Creation is the serpent, to clarify, okay? God is the Pope, okay? God backwards is dog, and the dogs are the priests that do the bidding, their master. And the dogs are the Jesuits and the Freemasons. Okay, the dogs go run and do the bidding for their master, for their puppy chow. Okay, for whatever food they want to eat, through their blind oaths that they've taken. Okay, so the sun, the prime symbol, the logo, the sun. Okay, goes around every day, and that's symbolic as the Ouroboros, what's called the Ouroboros, and and of course, there's no B, so it'd be Ouroboros. And there you can basically see the word aura, vortex, the vortex that's going around. And so that's the serpent eating its tail. So the prime symbol for the serpent is the sun. Okay? The prime symbol. And that's why the Pharaoh, who was seated on the sun throne, he's seated on the sun throne. He's wearing a cobra on his headdress because the cobra, he says he's representing the sun, and therefore he has the cobra, which means the bra is the word for support, and co means co-companion, and so cobra then means my co-support. The light is my co-support, okay? And so Linda, you're following up. I directed it out loud to the channel or anyone. I couldn't remember if I should use a Z or S for desert. Well, it's with a Z, but it's okay. I don't get offended if you use an S. Well, that's a typical to sometimes what people do. And then, we have to use correct phonetics here. We got to, remember, listen to the word desert, desert. That's a Z, not an S. And dessert is the what we get after a meal, right? Okay, so, but because I can't scroll up that high, or so I didn't remember what to call you. That's okay, Alinda. But we're here trying to help out, and that's what we want. We want people to see things they've never seen before that are relevant. Remember the scriptures, where there is no vision, the people perish. People perish for a lack of knowledge. Okay, so Shelley, okay, let's look at the next serpent now, the one that we put on every day. Yeah. Okay. Because there were two serpents in the garden. I mean, who were the players on the field? It was a man and a woman, right? And we've already talked about this. You got to go back to our other series. I don't remember which one it is, but go back about 5 programs. Okay. When we talk about Abraham, because he was the serpent, but it wasn't the right word. When you look it up in the Strongs and the code, that he was really the Naga, the serpent in the Strong's Concordance. It says Naga, and wait a minute, Naga is Navigator. It's an abbreviation, and he's the star navigator. He's the one who came out of the light, and this is part of the story. We've already covered all this, so you got to go back and listen to the back issues, and why it will be important to get the clips that we're going to put up ultimately on the Cosmic Essence, because we want to save you the labor of having to go through these longer broadcasts, and we're just going to clip them, and we're going to put the topics right where they belong. Okay, so that's going to be a tool for you to help you out, friends. Okay, time is short. We don't have a lot of time. So look at what the big joke. Okay, the joke's on us, isn't it? Huh? Every day we put on the shirt and the pants, but we put on the serpent, right? The serpent. Okay. And so you're the serpent. What's a serpent? Well, you're the serpent. You're flesh, right? Remember, a serpent sheds its skin, right? And then the male had to shed his foreskin as a symbol of destroying the flesh, right? It was merely symbolic. It had no valid reason other than the symbolism that was behind it. Maybe in the old world, if hygiene wasn't as great, then maybe it had some value back then. But really, it was symbolic. And so what happened in the wilderness? Well, then the people were dying. They were stung with the sting of death by serpents and scorpions. And so Moses, he was told to put a serpent on a cross, go around the camp, and if people could see the serpent, they could live, right? And we know that was an image of Yeshua, right? That was an image of Yeshua, right? Because we know he was the one who was nailed to the cross so that people could live, right? And so what was nailed up there? His serpent, the flesh. That's when he had the victory of life. He conquered because he surrendered to the great will. He didn't flinch. He was the Zav Ram. He was the star ram, not a lamb. He was the star ram. He just pretended to be a lamb, but he was a ram, right? Wasn't that what was caught up in the bushes when Zavraham was going to sacrifice Isaac? Yeah, he didn't have to kill his son, sacrifice his son. Then there's a ram caught in the bushes. Well, that represented Yeshua. He's a ram. Okay, the Zavram. He's the head of our tribe, right? So obviously he's the Zavram, and so there's so much the fan, sharfan. Okay, the correct word for serpent is sharfan. Okay, and sharfan is the sharp fan, meaning the power of the fan. The sharp is the power of the fan. And we find it like when you go surfing. You see the word, look at serpent. You go surfing. When you go surfing, you're riding the serpent. If you saw a shark fin in the water, it's shark fin, remember, primitive, shark fin. And so you're saying serpent, the shark fin. You see, so this word is a prime root. That's why you can know it's Indo-Germanic original, because all these other words came out of it, And the fan is the Vilfot. That's the swastika on the Nazi flag, also found in India, on the very books of the Vedas. The swastika is the spinning light particles coming down. Okay, and welcome to Matthew on our broadcast today, and have some new friends stopping by this evening, and so just grateful for that. We're just grassroots all the way, and trying to make lemons out of lemonade. We've been dealt the greatest deception in the history of modern time, but they've been doing this. Been the game the Aryans were playing all along. The priesthood, the ancient Aryan Brahmins. Okay, so I hope that helped you out, Linda. And so now let's get into chapter 3 of Ganesha, which is the correct terminology for Genesis. Gain is the garden. Ganesha is the royal eye. So it's the garden of the royal eye. Well, truly, nature was created with a royal eye for our royal eyes to see and to appreciate and to love. We look at so many of these beautiful nature YouTubes, right? Documentaries, or these what do they call those, drones that fly through the air? Like I was looking at one today of Canyonlands National Park in Utah. What a creation we have! It's a royal eye. It's majestic. It shows the great length of time that Yeshua brought forth the creation. The billions of years that we've been here, not the false narrative of the priesthood that we were only here for the last 6,000 or 8,000 years or whatever. Pop, bam, magico presto, then Earth appears. No, it was. We can see that it was 6 billion years, not 6,000 years. Okay, and so we have to see things that we've not seen before, hear things we've never heard to compare. I don't want to just compare apples and oranges. I want to compare apples, oranges, pears, plums, peaches, avocados. I want it all on the table, and then I'll be glad to make my own decisions. I don't want changing my words into Lord God. Lord God, where'd that come from? That's not the original. That's not the original. Wait a minute, I want the original. Ulafheim. There's the feminine love, the ul with the vision, because we can see. That's what charity means. Charity is carrot eye. You have a carrot eye because you can see. Therefore, you have compassion on someone. That's the charity. It's the carrot eye. There's another word they twisted. Okay, and so not only, I just want to one more thing on the serpent. Not only is the flesh the serpent, and they twisted it into Satan. That's what they changed into the word Satan. But also the psyche is a serpent, right? The psychology is a serpent, right? The ego is a serpent, right? Because as we would find ourselves at times in our life, that we found ourselves doing things that we wouldn't want to do, right? And the serpent just twisted our direction, turned us around, got us going in the wrong direction. And so the ego as well as the flesh. And so that fan that we've talked about within the surf fan, the fan, well, is the power. The power is in your legs. You're walking. There's the fan. You're walking places. You're going. That's the power is in the legs. Okay, that's the sharfen. That's the serpent. In fact, the word let's look at the word servant. I'll type this one in there. Okay, servant. SERVANT is serpent. Serpent, you see, but it's correctly. That's the prime root. That's the original form, sharfam. The serpent, the servant is the serpent. So literally, in 2,000 years ago, or depending upon the more specific primitive culture, the slaves or the servants were called serpents, and the head of the household say, "How do you like my serpents?" They go, they do what I tell them to do. They go over here, they go over there. They're good serpents. Yeah, and so what does the serpent do? Well, he goes anywhere you tell him to go. He spins, he twists, he goes around, goes there, does this, does that. He's the serpent, And so we have to see with the primitive eye. If we want to get back to original thought, we have to see it with primitive eyes. Because in other words, when we talk about the sun as being the throne of Yeshua, that we've been taught to hate the sun. We've been taught, the occult are saying, don't look at the sun, don't look at nature, don't look at any of the, because they only want you to think spirit. But wait a minute, the spirit is hiding behind all of creation. all of creation. The Spirit is the one who brought forth the creation. How could he not be behind it then? And so all of nature is speaking. It's his voice. It's his hieratic form of communication based on symbol and metaphor. You know, everything's a serpent, right? And everything's a tree in a sense, right? You have a family tree. Sun, earth, and moon are the tree. The stars are the cosmic tree. Our root goes back to the sun, okay? The root, the tree of knowledge and the tree of light. Yeshua is the tree of knowledge. The tree of life is the Spirit, okay? All of these things metaphor. And I better get reading here or I'll lose my voice and I'll have failed on the broadcast here, and we don't want to do that. So let me take a sip here and I'll be good to go. And we're again, if you want to get your scriptures out, I'm in Ganesha, abbreviated as Genesis and chapter 3. We're going to just do half of it and then we'll finish the other half most likely on Thursday. For our FENTON is one of the two most important translations that in our modern time, and it's from 1905. It's a reprint. Get it from our artisan publishers. Tell them I sent you, and get it while it's still there, because I talked to him yesterday, and it might be that it's going to be soon out of print. Okay, it's about $35, hardcover, thick book, big book. It's like 4 inches thick, thicker than a 2x4. Okay, and so yeah, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. Okay, chapter 3. Turn on my other light. Okay, and you can follow along. And so I'm reading FENTON, and FENTON is already a very unique translation. He got the best. He's the one who got closest to the original Greek. He read the Greek for 40 years. Said, I'm never reading English until I mastered the Greek and Hebrew, and he did it for 40 years. Never read the English, and then he did his English version. Okay, and okay, in the Hindu scriptures, he is called Shisha, which is pronounced Shaitan, Satan, and he is symbolized as being the 12-headed cobra. There you go. Thank you for that, Matthew. You obviously your deep study. Okay, that's really great. I should have included when I was talking about the serpent, actually. So Yeshua, as we spell it, Y-A-H-S-H-U-A-H, which in the most primitive is Yah, S-H-O-O-L-E-N-V-A-T. And I just used the apostrophes to split the components of the words. But Yeshua is in the most primitive, Yal, Shulin, Va. Yal, Shulin, Va. So Yal is the prime root for dial. The dial is that which goes round, right? The dial is spinning. And so the shul is the prime root for the word school. You see the word school there. The Scottish Rite put the C in front of the S. And so we wouldn't get the picture that shul is the place of knowledge. And shul is, there's the owl, there's the 2 O's. The S is the serpent. The H is the breath. There's your prime root on the meanings. The symbols are hieroglyphics. It's all speaking. Each letter is telling a story. Yal, Shulin, and then the E-N, I should have spelled it with an A. Shulan, A-N, more correctly. And because the E supplemented the A, but the A is the one, symbol of the one. Okay, so I'll spell it again. Y-A-H-L-L-S-H-O-O-L-A-N-V-A-T. Okay, so literally what Yal, Shulin, Va, oh, I spelled it wrong again. I can't get over it. Y-A-H-L-L-S-H-O-O-L-A-N-V-A-T. There we go. Okay, Yashul and Va literally means, so the Vat, there's the serpent right there, Vat at the end, and the An is one, and Shul is knowledge, and Yal is that which goes round. So literally what this means is the knowledge of the one, the knowledge of the serpent that goes round, but the one is implied is because everything is serpent. So it's the play of the one. The play of the one. Who's the one? The one is Yahweh, Yeshua. They are with it constitute all things. They made all things, and therefore they are hiding behind all things as spirit. And so Yashul and Va means the knowledge of the serpent that goes round, and then we could add in the play of the one to add the an. Okay, and it's the prime root of the word harvest. And so there's a harvest that's to be occurred as well. So this is how we read the root forms and as they combine. But we don't use Yashul and Va I say Yeshua because I don't want to lose everyone totally. Okay, because it's the Indo-Germanic is the most primitive, and to get everybody wrapped on a primitive. Well, the good news is it's a lot easier than the Greek and the Hebrew. Okay, it's a lot easier than Greek and Hebrew because they're controlled by the priesthood, and they got you on the merry-go-round, and you'll never get off. You'll never get to ground zero. You never get to the core of the onion, because it's what was breathed into Adam. That which is first is superior. That which is first is original, and that which is first is built upon these capital letters, not Hebrew letters, not those squiggly Greek letters. The original Greek letters, yeah. All the monuments in Greece have these capital letters. But when you look at your Strong's Concordance, where do those little letters come from? They look demotic to me, and they are. They're not the original. They did a switch out. The great conspiracy of mankind against our spiritual truth. They even did it with the Aramaic and the Syriac. What Syriac is actually Greek for Aramaic. And they switched out the alphabet. It was these capital letters. These were the original letters. A, B, C. Well, no, it's G. A. It's not B either. I got to fix that. Wait a minute. A, V, G, D, E, P, H. Okay. Offline, can you hear? All right, we're back on, right? We're back on.
We're back on.
The audio check. Okay. Give me an audio check, ladies and gentlemen. Audio. We're back on, Linda. Is it a 10? Thank you, Ninja. Okay, good deal. So where was I? Where was I, Shelley? Just went right out the window there. What was I saying? What was I saying? Do you remember? Oh, you forgot to. All right. Well, okay, then I guess we're just going to have to read. I feel like I was about to make a point there. Oh, the alphabet. Yeah, thank you, Zealot. Okay. So, yeah, that's the alphabet. That's the original alphabet, okay? The Sanskrit is the pseudo-Sanskrit because this is the original Sanskrit. These are the letters you write in sand. So you can see that it's Sanskrit, okay? It's a script. And that's the original, the first letters, A, V, G, D. They switched out the V with the B and the G with the C. You know, it's the great switch out. That's how they confused our diction. That's how they've pulled the wool over our eye. That's how they tricked us. That's how they put us under. Imagine that. Yep. Come on. Okay, we're back on.
We're back.
Okay. I guess our world is crashing sooner than later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's try to knock this out. So we made that point, and so we're on chapter 3. So what I was saying was that I read a version you're not familiar with. It is on the internet. You can find a PDF.
And reconnecting like it did the other day.
Yeah.
And it's continually doing it like 3 or 4 times now.
3 or 4 times, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to create a problem. We may have to pick it up then. So Linda, they still hear us. So they still got our audio, and it's funny because my screen here has offline. Powerful stuff. Thank you, Just Love. And yeah, 10. Okay, the audio still comes. This is weird. I guess I got to refresh. Maybe I got to do a refresh here.
Mine says offline too. I'll refresh too.
Yeah. Okay, I'm refreshing. Maybe that's the secret. Still says offline. And okay, so all right. Well, we've been at this 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. Gee, we went 3 hours already, and we never got to the. Yeah, stuff happens. Stuff happens. 5 times 5. What's that, Matthew? Stuff. STUPH happens. Okay. So is it still trying to reconnect, Shelley, or what?
It's saying we're offline, but apparently they can hear us still. So.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I think at this point we've been on 3 hours, and what we can do, we got long-winded because we had new friends stopping by, and I wanted to be able to, give some people the primer. Oh, wait a minute, now we're reconnecting again? Okay.
We're green again.
We're green again. Okay. I don't know what to do. I want to start this. All right. Stuff, stuff happens. That's the star creation happens. All right. So we're going to try Yoda says there is no try. There's only do or don't do. So if we get this happening one more time, it must be the Earth is rocking. And let me take one more sip. And I guess I'll. You know what? Geez, I've been 3 hours already. I'll tell you what. I hear you loud and clear. Thank you, Matthew. Audio's a 10. Does anybody want to call in? Is there anybody that wants to touch base? You can call in on the Skype. That's Forbidden History Live, 3 words, or you can call in on the phone. If you have a Skype, you can do the phone. Ninja had the Skype. That's why I wanted her to use it. I didn't want to use that phone. And but the phone number is right there. That is a hotline. It really is hot. That's why I only use it if you don't have Skype. 608-566-7295. Wait, somebody was supposed to call in tonight. Who was that? Crystal, wasn't that you? You were going to call in tonight if you're still there. I don't know. I forgot. I didn't make the second offer. I apologize. Crystal, you still there? You want to call in? She mentioned she was going to call in. Well, okay, maybe she's not there now. We lost a few listeners through this hiccup. All right, I'm going to do the first 11 verses. Okay, get your book, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so now the serpent was more. He's got impudent here, but I know it says subtle. Okay, so when I looked it up, now subtle. You see, I already showed you that the word serpent, was actually navigator, meaning he was a star navigator. You have to listen to our series on Adam that we did, okay? And you'll get it piece by piece, okay? But I'm just ad-libbing real quick. And so when the star navigator, that's Adam, not a serpent. He was the wise one. The serpent is the wise one. Okay, so the serpent also represents wisdom, a wise one, a sage, but also represents, a wood twister. A wood twister is what they called the carpenter back then. So he twisted wood. And so it's like the serpent, right? Like a serpent. You heat the wood, you steam it, twist it, bend it, and all that, plus cutting it and everything else. So they've tricked us with these terms that are not the original. But so it would really read, now the star navigator was not more subtle, as it says in the King James, but he was the Avram. It says, so he was the Savram. He was the star ram, not subtle. You notice how that word sounds funny. Now, where did this talking serpent come from anyway? If he talks, well, the only 2 individuals in this story are a man and a woman, okay? And the one knows how everything is going on because he was up there with Yeshua. He named everything on earth. What do you think? He was a sovereign. He was a star ram when he knew how the entire universe operated. And this is where we got the knowledge about building pyramid civilizations, the infinite mathematics, cutting stone that we can't even duplicate today nor lift, or fitting it with joints like in Bolivia and Peru with these polygonal structures. And we find the polygonal structures all over the world, including in Metsar, falsely called Egypt. So he was the Zavram, he was the star ram, and he's the one who brought forth all the Aryan race that became the fallen watchers, the Bekeresh, not invisible creatures with wings on their back, as we've been told over and over. The story is in our scriptures, but we just went through that prior to the series we did with Adam. We did the fallen watchers, and we're the only ones who got the story right. You got to go listen. Go back to the last 10 programs ago or 8 programs ago. Go look. It's all labeled. And just follow the fallen watchers and then roll right into Adam and blow your mind, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody's telling the story straight. Nobody. Okay? Only here. And I'm always astounded. Nobody tells the correct story about the flood. Only here. And we prove it. We prove it out several different ways. You can't miss it. Can't miss it. But it's in the words. If you can read, you can and know that you've been lied to and that they're playing word games on us, and then can see the original thought within the Eight Shavors, you'll get it. So when I looked up subtle and it was Avram, well, I said, wait a minute, that's the name of Abram. Avram is Abram. Abram is Avram. And then I realized that it meant star ram, and I realized it meant the head of a tribe. In other words, Abraham is not his name; it's his title. It means he's the star ram of a tribe, is he not? Did not Abraham bring forth, Isaac, who was willing to sacrifice himself on the altar? Then he brings forth Jacob, the seed of light, which means seed of light. Then he brings forth the tribe in Volei Shaphe, Joseph, and then the whole tribe is saved out of Meitzar through a great miracle of events, right? I mean, he was the Zavram. That's what star ram means. It's Zavram. And so this is a powerful guy, and this is where they created the false narrative about Lucifer, the bright one, because this is the bright one. Adam is the bright one. He go back and read. He was commissioned by Yeshua to name all things. It said he wanted to see what he would call them, because he breathed into his nostrils the gnosis, the breath of life, and the knowledge breathed into him by Yeshua. So he was good to go. And then he was up there for all that time while all of life was evolving on earth. Man didn't evolve. Man is the only one that didn't evolve because he's a foreigner to this place. All nature has evolved. It's clear. It's evident that this world is billions of years old. Linda wants to call in? Okay. Let's see. Do you have an email for your channel? Yes, we do. We have an email, Linda, and if you do, could you share it? Maybe I can email you a couple of questions, which would give you time to ponder what I'm asking. It's huge. Okay, sure, yeah. It's ForbiddenHistoryLive at gmail.com. Please don't put us on a spam list, anybody. We're only wanting things pertaining to the broadcast. We don't have time for, other information. I've already looked at everything, and I was a political activist. I already know what's going on. So just if it's pertaining to the program, yeah, ForbiddenHistoryLive at gmail.com. All one word, ForbiddenHistoryLive. Okay. And so continuing here, thank you, Linda. And so now the star navigator, that's the original word for prophet. So this is where the word prophet came from. There's no prophet to be made. It was star navigator. Why? Because you have to follow the stars to go back home, right? The stars are telling the story about life. Those pictures up there were telling the story. What do you want, the Big Dipper or the Little Dipper? I think everybody just wants the Little Dipper because they're afraid of the Big Dipper because they maybe can't drink that much, But the thing is, it's making an offer. What do you want, the Little Dipper or the Big Dipper? Come on, Shelley, what do you want? Do you want the Big Dipper or the Little Dipper?
The Big Dipper.
Thank you very much. She wants the Big Dipper. She wants it all, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And so life is making an offer. And so some people only, don't give me the truth, just give me the fiction. I can't handle the truth because then I might have to do something. I might have to be responsible with what I hear. I may have to, my conscience, may get the better of me. I don't know, So the point is, ladies and gentlemen, Orion, he's pointing his bow and arrow at the what they call the bull, but go look at it. It's a pyramid. He's pointing his bow and arrow. Orion is Aryan, okay? And the Aryan race is the one that instituted all the pyramid civilizations around the world. And by the fact that the Orion is pointing his bow at the pyramid, the first letter A, the alpha, means that this is where it begins. You see? Then it starts with the letter A, and it starts with building pyramids. That's why they built pyramid civilizations all around. Like Graham Hancock and the other ancient archaeology journalists. They all admit they don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it seems like mankind went from primitive in an instant to super advanced technology and civilizations, and they have no idea where it comes from. And the reason they don't know is because they've left off the scriptures. They've discounted the scriptures, ladies and gentlemen. You see? And the answer is in there. The Giza pyramid is not the Giza pyramid. It is the Gazar. The Gazar pyramid. There's the word for star. And the Gay means the sun's eye of a star, or that whatever that mystical code, the goal. Oh, the golden eye of the star. There you go. The golden eye of the star and the golden ratio is in there. You see the golden ratio, which is what we call the Fibonacci sequence. But literally, why is it called gazar? You know, where you get the word to gaze, to look, because the what they call the Giza pyramid, which was built by Melchizedek or Shem, prior to building the Noah's Ark, prior to the flood, to be a monument and a memorial to the civilizations that would come after the flood. It was commissioned by Yahweh, and Melchizedek was the one who built it. It took him 120 years, and the reason it's called the Gazar pyramid, because you have to look at it. You have to add up its dimensions. There is no hieroglyphics in there. There is no writing in there. But if you add up the dimensions, it's not even a 4-sided pyramid. It's an 8-sided pyramid. You see? And if you add up the different dimensions, you'll find out that the only one who could have made this pyramid is the one who made the entire universe himself. He's the one who commissioned it. Get the book, ladies and gentlemen, called The Great Pyramid Decoded by Raymond Kapp. You go to artisanpublishers.com, get the book, The Great Pyramid Decoded, okay, and blow your mind. The Great Pyramid Decoded, because they're not telling, they're lying again. They're lying to you. They know it. That's why they took all the casing stones off of it. They wanted to kick it all down, you know? And so it was shined. That's why in the Gaza Strip, it was called the Gaza Strip, because they could see the shining pyramid all the way to the Nile River from the Gaza, the Gazar Strip, the strip that takes you to the pyramid, you know? And so there's so much to this, our legacy they've hidden from us. And that's why you're getting it here on the Forbidden History, okay? Because you're not going to get it anywhere else. People either leave off the scriptures, or they're listening to Bubba, and then they start repeating what Bubba has said, you know, and yeah. And Zealot is saying, chopped up our history just enough to lose so much. Yeah, well, you know, part of the history is like having no history, or as they say, to the victor, he writes the history, right? Mm-hmm. And so I guess that goes back to the first battle that they won, right? When they took their blood oaths and they kicked our butt right out the gate and enslaved us. So they've been controlling history from the beginning. But the good news is enough of it has slipped out so that we can piece it back together. That's the thing, you know. But you have to know the tricks, the trap, and the trade. And they are traders. And they're crafty. They're the craft also, of course, right? And well, I don't think I got past the first verse yet, so let's try it again. All right, now the star navigator was the sovereign. He was the star navigator, and he therefore had more knowledge than any other of. He was more advanced than any of the other creatures of the field. That's right. Because remember, he was made first. He was made before anything else was made. Then he was taken up to the throne of the sun, and so he's the Zavram. We are, as we know, we are all in the physical sense sovereigns over the earth, right? That we can tame all these other creatures. We can trap them, trick them, and eat them, right? We are the at the highest echelon of creation in our time, right? We are the supreme creation, and we're not of this world. We are of a higher order, and when it said that we were made in the image, it was talking about our spirits. Our spirits have the ability to be married to the great spirit of life. That's the great mystery. Not married to the earth, married to the great spirit. But we have to separate from the illusion of the lower world. Okay? And so the Yahweh of the great Elohim had made more advanced than all other creations. So he asked, now we're still in verse 1. So he asked the woman, that's the Eshaphe, the woman that he had made, is it true that Yahweh, who is the great Elohim, has said that we may not eat from every tree of the Genun? That's the original word for garden. Genun. That's the golden eye at high noon. The Genun. That's the apex. That's the perfection of beauty of nature at high noon. Okay, that's when everything is shining, right? And the woman replied to the star navigator, "We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden." Now, of course, that means we may do anything we want to do. We can do anything we want to do, right? That's what eating the fruit means, right? That said you would know a tree by its fruit, whether it was perfect or corrupt, right? So the trees and their fruit is the things that they can do. They can eat. They could eat anything. They can do anything they want. When it said that you can eat any of the fruit, what do you think? It was about eating fruit, right? What's the big deal about fruit? Oh, well, why didn't it say cabbages and but don't eat the chickens or something like that, right? But it was about the fruit, the things that we do. Okay, and isn't it true that we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden? Remember, they're talking primitive. But the fruit of the trees which is in the middle of the garden, the great Elohim has said, do not do this. So do not eat of it means do not do this. And do not even touch it unless you die. So like the cookie jar, right? You tell the little boys and girls, hey, you see that jar of cookies over there? Don't touch it. I'm going to leave now. Okay, but don't touch those cookies. And those little boys and girls, those chocolate chip cookies, they smell so good, just cooked, right? They're looking at the jar. They're leaning over the counter. They're thinking, hey, mom's gone. She's gone. You think she's going to know if one cookie's out of there? And so there you go. You see, they're so what does the sovereign say? He's not more subtle. He knows how everything in this universe operates, and he's taking control, baby. He's taking control of the baby and control. And so he says, where am I? But the fruit of the trees of the garden, in the center of the garden. Well, what's at the center of your garden? Right? Okay, the center of your being. What's at the center? Right? You got three centers, but the lower one. Right? We're talking about the lower one. And the great Elohim has said, do not touch it. Do not even, do anything with it unless you die. But the star navigator answered and the woman and said, you will not die, because the great Elohim knows that at the time that you do this thing, your eyes will then be opened, and you will be like great Elohim, acquainted with both light and darkness. The sun and moon. The sun and moon is the original. Then it means light and darkness, but then it became abstract and became good and evil. Okay, and so the whole idea is that we will be like creators. We will be creators like the great Elohim. We will bring forth babies, create a civilization, a race. He knew that. She didn't quite figure it out yet because she was naive. You see, she was a little naive, and so the woman, perceiving that the tree looked pretty attractive, good for food. That's what it means. Good for something, and beautiful to the eyes, and a tree here, and here Fenton says, stimulating to the intellect. She took some of its fruit, and she ate the fruit of the loom, and gave it to her husband and with her, and he also ate from it. But now, when we read the Septuagint, it says that when she gave to her, she gave him. It didn't say he took the fruit and ate it. It said he found pleasure. He found pleasure. Okay, and she gave some to her husband with her, and he also found pleasure. He ate it, and so verse 7, the eyes of both of them were opened, and they became consciously aware that they were snaked. Put an S in front of snake, ladies and gentlemen, and you get snake. Take the D off, because the D is a corruption, but actually it means death, so it does fit in a way. But notice that the word snake is right in front of naked with the letter S. You see, telling us that we're that serpent. And they accordingly joined fig leaves together. It's already getting near 1 o'clock. I think we've done enough damage to Gandhi Bandi Rashish out of India and his fallen watchers. And Shelley, here's some background noise. What's going on? Anything? Are we out of here? Can we end it with the song maybe? If we can come back. Okay, we're back. Okay, so we're going to just cap it off right there, ladies and gentlemen, because we're, I guess the the internet is not doing too good tonight, and we're having a little technical challenge. Okay, so I want to welcome all of those who came in for the first time tonight. Thank you for stopping by and checking us out. We don't have any other agenda other than the truth. I have an obligation to share when I've been so well endowed by the great spirit of life in my elder brother Yeshua. I wanted to know. Okay, I wanted to know, and then I realized, well, the only way you can be saved is by helping to save others. That's the great mystery. That's the great mystery. So I'm here to share. What you do with it is your business. I'm not going to give you a test or cross-examine you down the road. I'm just here to share. What you do with it is your business. And thank you, Zealot, and for your stopping by as well, and Crystal and everybody. So don't forget, I'm Dezert-Owl telling you, if you want to know the future, then you simply need to look for the Forbidden History, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week on Forbidden History Live. It's what they didn't want you to know, that we tell right here. Hope to see you again real soon, okay? Come on back. Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Starry night.
And Ninja Cat 111 will be on Friday. Check us out.
Starry
You did tell your friends, right? Right, do that.
Paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills. Sketch the trees and the daffodils. Catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night. Flaming flowers that brightly blaze. Swirling clouds in violet haze reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue. Colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain. Weathered faces lined in pain are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night. Portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met. The ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never